Test, 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 test. Okay, I think we're good. Everyone can hear me, right? We hear you. Did you hear me when did you hear me at first? Whatever I said before I asked if people could hear me? But hi, Atomic Man. Hi, James. You started muted. Okay, yeah. I'm not sure how. Let me check something really fast. Engage privacy mode. Let me take a look at this because this thing should be set. It is set. Weird. Okay, I don't know. Well, whatever. As long as you can hear me now, I think it's fine. Let's try playing audio out of my computer and see if that works. Not that I think anything's gonna be heavy on audio today, but I did just upgrade to Sequoia, and I'm guessing this is a result of that. There are different permission systems too in Sequoia. I guess you have to request access for local network access. All right, so let's do this. Let's just click this button. Yeah, okay, those are apparently coming through, those little ticks. Yeah, okay, cool. Just want to make sure. Man moving mouth. Hey, Freak Technic. Okay, well, we left off with fishing stuff. I did some work yesterday, but it wasn't as much as I wanted to do. Some life stuff sort of got in the way. But today, what we're going to take a look at is finishing the battle system. The cutting out the shadows of fish is something I think I'm going to hold off on. What are we fishing for today? We're fishing for subs. Thank you, Darkstore. We fished up our first sub. It's Sequoia. This is the new Mac OS version. And I never really care too much about this stuff. Like, it's a bunch of, hey, if you're already in the Apple ecosystem, then here are some features for you. So, I don't know, like connectivity to the iPhone, things like that. But there are some Apple Intelligence features, which, I don't know, I don't really care. I just didn't want it to keep telling me that I could upgrade. So I upgraded. Also, eventually I'm going to care for security reasons, although I don't know when they deprecate their old versions. All right, this whole cutout shadows for the fish, I think we can put into a cleanup task. All right, so then what do we have now? Every time you kill a fish, you're actually catching it. You should immediately get the reward in scales. It should probably show sticky text somewhere saying you caught a fish. I'm still a little torn on this. I think I wrote a note about this. Yeah, make fish into proper items that you have to bring to a descaler. Issue is that you would probably be eating tons of fish at a time, so you would pretty much need item stacking. We're going to have item stacking, but even then, is this worthwhile to do? Or what if... Can you edit this stuff? You can't. You have to go up to here, you have to click edit, you have to scroll down. That's so much work. Alternatively, we could drop the scales as items and have you bring them to the guild. I'm not actually sure what harvesting does now for farming. Did I write this down? Harvest. It was just, you just get the food immediately. I don't know how I feel about this. I'm still kind of torn. We have the fishing pond. So right now I have two fish in the pond. There's one, there's the other one. And I made it so you can battle them. So we can go over to here. And now we're fighting these fish. And when you win, every time you beat one, it actually already took them out of the pond, but every time you beat one now, you will get some scales immediately. And that is one system we can do. I want to think about this for just a little longer. So how should you get scales? Option one, you get them as soon as you catch a fish from a battle. Option two, you get the fish themselves from battles, and you have to bring them to a descaler. Actually, I just thought of something, a problem with that. I should probably write down. Problem. I guess these would have to fly out of the portal immediately so that you don't get 300 at once. I don't think this is interesting. And then you get the scales themselves from battles and you have to bring them to the guild. I think I'm still leaning toward this, which is probably the easiest one. Hey Kevin, you even trout at the pond. Oh boy. The fish puns are starting again. Yeah, I think I'm still leaning toward this. Oh, I will write down this other consideration here. Either way, if anything drops as an item out of battle, then it would need to drop immediately. You need to drop immediately so that you don't get like 300 fish at once popping out of the portal. Okay. All right. I think I'm fine with that. So somewhere we need to track how many scales you have. I'm pretty sure we did this and I just never used it. Yeah, here it is. So fishing pond has it right there. Maybe we just have a function here like caught fish. Public void caught fish. And we just say num scales plus equal scales per fish. And then actually it should know what I want to do when the cursor's here, right? Yeah. Anyway, scales per fish. I don't really know what this should be. Actually, does it even make sense for it to be anything more than like a 1-to-1 ratio? Yes, probably, because fish have more than one scale. Maybe you get like 10 per fish. Should we make a scale armor for the memes? You mean like an item that can drop out of battle with fish, but that is not this kind of scales? Because, I mean, there could be items that drop from fishing. I think it should start at 1 and you upgrade somehow. The only reason I wouldn't want it to be 1-to-1 is for flavor. Like, how many scales does a fish have? How many scales does a fish have? I know this is a very generic question, but it's like, what, hundreds, thousands? There's no easy answer to this. Let's say salmon. Exactly the same number of scales. What? I'm so confused. All right, I don't care anymore. But they have more than one, at least 4. So this is sort of like in a lot of RPGs, you're told to like, oh, go get, rat tails or something like that. And they want you to collect 10. And you kill 10 rats and you end up with like 3 tails. And okay, you can kind of make an excuse for this, like maybe you somehow obliterated the rat with your fireball. But it doesn't make a lot of sense. You just modify the display value so encode it's 1-to-1. Yeah, yeah. But I still think from a user perspective, like what should they see? Probably like at least 10 scales per fish. Also, I think multiplying by 10 isn't too bad. I think it's yes, it's definitely weirder to increase this number to go from like 10 to 13 because now it's not easy multiplying for people. There's only one magic scale per fish. Yeah, that's true. I mean, I do like using smaller numbers here better. But anyway, we haven't balanced this yet. I'll just leave it at 10 for now. So every time you kill a fish, you're actually catching it. You should immediately get the reward in scales. It should probably show sticky text somewhere saying you caught a fish. Is that obvious? Maybe the number of skills you got? I'm not sure. Anyway, now we need, oh wait, sorry, I didn't actually call this. Fish battle system. We need to know that you caught a fish. Hey, Nightcaf, welcome in. I split up a couple of, so we had a battle system and I splits it into 3. There's now a battle system, which is the base. There's like a regular battle system, which is when you're fighting stuff, and now there's a fishing battle system. I did the same thing. We had instance map, and it just kept track of like controls. I turned those controls into like map point or something, and then I did the same thing. There's map point, there's fishing map point, and there's battle map point. And that took a lot of yesterday to do all that stuff. Better than GPT Turbo and comparable to DeepSeek 3. No, I haven't. I don't tend to look at other LLMs at this point. I pretty much just use whatever Copilot provides. And I did have something written about like, oh, let's try DeepSeek with this, and I never did it. So I'm probably not going to check out this new LLM either. It's cool that this is happening. It's good for consumers. I don't get so much value out of the AI right now that I feel like I should improve it a lot. Although maybe that's a reason why I should be looking into it more, but I haven't seen those efforts pay off. Yeah, well, the split ended up taking quite a lot of code out of instance map. So instance map is now 385 lines of code, and in here it was like 500 something, 513. I might have already pushed this actually. If I haven't pushed it, let me push now. Okay, there. Now it's definitely there. And I can go from here into instance map. Hey, Zephyr, thank you. So I'm going to link this for Kevin. No one else will be able to access this. Yeah. The important part here is, what do I call it? Map marker. And then its derivative classes. And I'm not super happy with that, but I didn't want to put more time into it. I also did something really hacky the other day. Oh man, so here's look at how dumb this code is. If we have more than 500 removed battlers, then remove 100 of them. This is what this code is doing. And the reason why is because fishing battles are infinite. You can just stay in them forever and you can keep getting them more and more fights against fish, basically. So eventually the kill counts are going to get, they're unbounded. Probably most people are going to stop after like 100 to 200, but there's nothing stopping you from leaving this on overnight and coming back and like having 5,000 fish that you've caught, or maybe even more. Each one of these fish was represented in battle and needs to be freed at some point. And the old way of doing things was to free them at the end of battle. And that's fine when you've got, 18 battlers or even 50 or even 500. But when it's unbounded and someone might leave this and get like 50,000 or 500,000, I didn't want it to keep consuming memory. But if you free them immediately, then any references to them will be bad. So I needed to keep them around for some amount of time, but not an infinite amount of time. So I just said like, okay, you know what? After you killed 500 fish, just free up 100 of them. And then at the end of the battle, we free up the rest. So this is a stopgap measure I found for some issues. By the way, the thing that caused this issue is zombies drain life, like drains, I guess, so that they die without needing an enemy to kill them. And zombies can poison enemies. So basically a zombie would poison a fish, then the zombie would die. Then the poison would try accessing the source of its poison, which is the zombie, which has been freed. So like there were a bunch of problems. Hey, Smack. Okay, so caught fish. We have this something dead battler has component fish. This thing here on battle or death. This is virtual, right? Yeah, although I don't think anything overrides this. No, it does. Okay, we're gonna take this. We're gonna put it in the fishing system. And then instead of this code here, we're gonna do this. So if you killed a fish, which means you caught a fish, then we're going to access the fishing pond. Why is this thing nullable? You can't have a fishing battle system and have this thing be nullable. Okay, we got to change that. When did I change the avatar? Probably a week and a half ago or so, something like that. Where'd my to-do list go? Let's put this at the top. Change fishing battle system so that the pond isn't nullable. By the time we've created this, we know it's not nullable. That should make everything a lot easier. And then I guess get rid of the exclamation marks after that. Yeah, exactly, Kevin. Yep. All right, so what did I call this? Caught fish. Let's test it really fast by just printing this out. Should know what I want to do. You caught a fish. You now have that many scales. Cool. You know what was really cool about this system is watching it get fed automatically by the potion system. So I will show that off here too. But I thought that was pretty neat. And I don't know if I ever tested that on stream. Oh, I don't think I did because I didn't have it removing fish from the pond, but now I do. So yeah, I have 2 fish. As soon as I start a battle against them, against the pond, it's going to take them out of the pond. That was the change I made. So as soon as that character makes it to the portal, these fade out. Now I'm at 0 fish. And this is what I was talking about that I think is really cool. If we do this and go here and then turn this on. All right, so now there are going to be 0 fish in this fight on the left. But We just got a potion. So this potion is going to come down here and not actually give us another fish yet because we need one more potion. But as soon as another potion is brought here, a fish will appear in this battle. And that's super cool in my opinion. This is a real ECS? When you say real, what do you mean? It was something that we made for this game specifically. All right, so anyway, every time a fish dies, it should be saying we caught a fish. Yeah. And that's that. Okay, let's go check that in. Yeah, I thought this was cool. Just the idea of like you're doing a battle for potions, and then the potions go into the extractor, and they give you eggs, which then your battle for fish can be populated with fish. So it's a cool system, and I think that's what got me thinking, when does this stop? Why would players ever disengage from this system? And I have sort of broad strokes answers right now, but I still need to figure that out. All right, we want to check this in. This is really just two functions, right? Yeah, very simple. And nothing even uses scales yet, but obviously we want that to be done eventually. All right, so increase scales when catching fish. I mean an entity component system and not something else. Oh. Is the ECS that you see in code referring to an entity component system? Yes. Yeah. Okay, make an instance map that looks like your pond. Note the waterways has animated water already. Maybe your adventures fight from a bridge. Yeah. All right, let's go take a look. We should have waterways here. Are all of the instance maps like this? What other instances do we have? I want to take a look at some of this stuff. Can you turn off visibility on many things at once? Good. Okay, yeah. Oh man. Why do we have... Okay, the fill is for underneath this. My God, my eyes. I think it's when the heat is on in this room. Not only is it becoming too warm, but also my eyes are just drying out. Oh, they're chicken fish. So, yeah, it makes sense, James. They're hatching into chickens in the water. Why is the fish component not called is fish component? It is called is fish component. Okay. Yeah, let's take a look at this. So where is their water? It's inside ground. Huh. What's that doing there? I don't know what that's doing there. Why does that change? Changed on this side too. Hmm. Grass patterns. Bridge. Cliff. Trees. Okay, cool. So ground, I want to take the water that we already have and I want to paint it on pretty much the entirety of this. Drat. All right, we're gonna do this gratuitously, and I'm gonna eventually need to clean up some of this stuff. Okay, now in the game, your fishing pond has a stone border, which I think we would want to show here. Where does that come from? Here. What tile is that? It's probably a pattern. I don't know actually. No, maybe it's not a pattern. Maybe they are just the specific tiles. Oh, no, here it is. How do you see which terrain this is? Here it is, stone border. Got it. Tim, welcome in. Thank you for the raid. Hi, everybody. Hello, turtles. We are doing something vaguely turtle adjacent here, which is fishing. Except for fishing in this game works differently from how it does in other games. In this game, you bring potions to an extractor, which give you fish eggs, and then you get fish from those fish eggs, and then you battle your pond, and you catch fish by defeating them in battle. Tim, I want to call attention again to a DM that I sent you a while ago on Discord that I'm not sure if you saw, and if you saw, it's totally fine. You don't need to acknowledge it, but I just want to make sure because I've sent 2 other DMs recently and people did not respond to those either. So I am following up with everyone to see if there's some problem on Discord or if, yeah, I don't know. And like I said, everything's fine. It's okay if you're not happy with the contents of that DM. But yeah, welcome in everybody. Hope you're doing well, Tim. What we're doing right this second is trying to make a new, oh, whoops, I should save this. I should say this is like fishing pond instance. I hope this doesn't get in the way. I guess it's already in the instances folder. Okay, yeah, sure. Sounds good, Tim. And like I said, if you don't want to for whatever reason, that's totally fine. I just want to make sure it wasn't something lost into the ether. Sometimes what I do in Discord is I leave a message unread, knowing that I just want to tackle it like 4 days in the future. And then something happens. Like I switch accidentally to that conversation. It marks it as read, and I just never realized that I did that. So ground overlays where we can put this and just paint this in here. Yeah. All right, and how much of this is actually visible? I should probably launch the game and find out. Terrain is a bit of a pain to work with. Want me to do this? No, that's okay. I want to take a look and see what this is like. Because one of the things that strikes me just looking at this is we have a lot of layers in pretty much all of our maps. And I wonder if we could simplify it somehow. Okay, so let's take a picture of this because I want to see how much of the waterways we even see. And then let's load up GIMP. My eyes. Close. All right. So in this picture, we are seeing just that much, which is up to this tile. So yeah, it's exactly what we see in the camera here. And on the right side, it goes to here. So we have 1 extra tile on the right side. So you can't see any of these tiles. You can only see this little bit here. Got it. What's the concern with having those layers? It's just when you want to modify something, if it is not apparent which layer you want to do it in, and then the Z indexing of these things. And the Z index shouldn't matter too much. And I know we can have different layers on the same Z index. Okay, so we're going to get rid of this. Why is this not deleting? Because I'm not in that yet. Hi, Krasner. Good morning. Things are going out of view is on purpose. That's just because of the brush. But you can erase them outside the terrain tab. Oh yeah. Yeah, well, the things going out of view make sense when there's something that's still visible in view. But technically, like, these tiles don't do anything. And I recognize that it might still be worth keeping these in case we ever expand this by 1 tile or we have some like zoom effect or something. So I'm not saying there's a problem there necessarily. Okay, let's delete that stuff. Grass pattern, bridge, cliff, trees. Okay. Hey, Dabu. So the way that our fishing pond looks in the game is, well, it might change, but right now it's with that stone border and then with trees all around it. So I think we want that same general style in here. And on the left side, I think I want the adventurers to be on bridges. What does the fill layer look like here? It's all green. All right, let's take a look. We have this bridge here. And in game assets, world exterior. So we have a couple different styles. We have one going to the right, we have one going up. We have this kind of bridge. Actually, they could be on a boat, except for that there are no boats in this game. I think there's actually even a different one of these somewhere. I need to go look at that. Hang on, let's see. I need to go look at all the sprites that we have. Was there one that I'm thinking of here? Water dungeon. Oh, interesting. Yeah, because something like that could be kind of cool. What else? Interior, water animation, winter pack, nature dungeon. There's probably nothing interesting in here. Yeah, it's all the same water stuff. Yeah, nothing too crazy. I should really name these instead of just package, because I don't know what these things even are. The same bridges that we had. And then these, okay, so yeah, if we were gonna have fishing, putting your adventurers on these fishing boats like this could look a little bit better. I kind of like that idea. This is just a pond, so having like 9 boats would probably not make a lot of sense. And what's in here? What even is this pack? The desert pack? Because there's hardly anything to this. Also, things outside not visible is because I was someone had part of it in view to not just have empty bland space. But we don't have some part of this stuff in view. Like I said, this tile here is just a blank green tile and is never visible. It makes sense that that column has some visible tiles, like this can still be visible inside, but some of the tiles are never visible. But I don't think that's a problem, like I said. I think because we might eventually expand the instances by 1 tile. Because if we did that, we'd probably want another tile on the right side. A3 extended. Hey, Remy. Make it 10. Well, this is one idea, which is having them be on boats. And we could mock this up pretty easily. But the boats that we have are these long ones that could fit, you know, a row of adventurers or something. Or what we could have is like the middle row is on a, here's what I'm thinking. Something like we have like boat and then bridge and then boat. So it's 2 boats surrounding the bridge, and that's what this would look like. So yeah, picture this. Oops. Well, anyway, picture this thing turns into a boat, this turns into a boat, and this turns into the bridge. I kind of like that. I think that can work. Yeah. Some layers are offset. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I think that's reasonable. Like I said, even having this tile and not having it ever be visible, I think is okay. Okay, let's try that then. I don't think we have any boat graphics already in the game, so I think we need to take this one and put it in. And I want to figure out what package this came from, because unfortunately it's just called package 2. Where I deleted the zip file for it. Yeah, weird. I don't know what this was originally. Super Retro World Itch by Lemon. Where's the one I got? Here. There's my Leo pause. All right, view bundle. So this was the desert pack. Let's name that one. Because otherwise I'm never going to know what this stuff is. Desert pack. So what is this one that we have? This is Oriental pack. Where'd that come from? This, okay. And front battle pack. I'm guessing that's what this is. Yeah. Front battle pack. So I still have not identified. Oh, wait, no, maybe it is this. Yeah, this is where the boats came from. Okay, yeah, we can use that. Cool. I think it should be the Odyssey one. Do I already have that listed out? Where did that one come from? Also, gigantic tree. Hey, Goose. Happy Hitchhiker's Guide Day. Okay, so now we're going to put this inside the game. Assets, world. I don't want to call this Oriental here. I think I'm just, I mean, that was the name of the pack that they used that name. Yeah. All right, I'll use the name that they use, but I don't like that. We have an atlas named Odyssey that has the boats. Where is that? Odyssey. Super Retro Odyssey Exterior. Let's extract this into here. Because maybe this is the same pack and he just had two different names. Yeah, it extracts the package. What is this? Yeah, it's that. Okay, you know what? We'll call it Odyssey then. I like that name better anyway. Oh, I gotta go back to that folder though. Okay. Good. And good. All right, so there's our atlas. We can now put boats into here if we want to. So let's go get the Odyssey thing. Do I need to edit this? Oh, I'm not in the tile set. Oh my God. It's been a long time since I've worked with this stuff. All right, so here's what I'm thinking. We delete pretty much all of this that we have here. There we go. And probably this as well, although it does come from grass. So maybe not that stuff. Can't believe this is just a fishing game now. Hey, Pies. Hey, Oakleus. Our ground overlay. I'm not going to make this look as polished as possible, by the way. I want it to be something kind of good enough for now. And we will eventually come back to this. All right, so the bridge needs to be moved. Let's do this and this. Oh, I see. It's one of those. Oh, drat. How do you tile this? Did I even do this correctly? No. Is it from the top? It's from the top, yeah. Does that... Oh, maybe it did look fine. Okay, never mind. I thought it didn't. So we need to bring it pretty much out to here. So let's do that and that. And then delete this one. Okay. And then we do the same thing with this. Get this, draw this stuff in. Good. And then we need our, where's the bridge? Here it is. I think we're gonna put the boats on this layer too, maybe? Or we just make a boats layer? Famous YouTuber Pie. We should all just call him that now. Hey, Lammy. This is for the battle screen? Yes. Well, the fish fighting back, they're not going to fight back. Boats. Can we tile this? I probably should have verified that first, huh? Also, this is larger than I thought. We might need to offset this. And yeah, we definitely need to offset it. Because I'm guessing this is where the adventurers show up. All right, let's just paste this here. I know that's not great, but I want to see what this looks like. So I think the adventurers are going to send one tile higher than that. Well, let's try it out. All instance data. Forest instance. So this is going to be fishing pond instance. Waterways, fishing pond. Okay, let's go test it. I just keep accruing band-aids on my finger. I'm just taking this off. The cat was very excited to get pet by me. And she like jumped up and dug her claws into me. She was not trying to hurt me, I promise. All right, that's a surprise. First of all, this should be called fishing pond. Second, what's going wrong here? Oh, I didn't customize the path, did I? No, I did. And it is instances slash fishing pond, right? Oh, I didn't customize the... No, I did do that too. Oh, I modified the wrong thing. There. Actively hurt me if you scratch the wrong place. I wasn't even touching her at the time. I was like standing in the hallway or something, and the cat was like, I want pets, and then like jumped up to my hand. Oh man, I started the battle with just one of them. Anyway, this character looks good on the bridge. And the fish should now look like they're in the water. So we need some custom handling for that. We probably need to customize battlers so that fish have some special logic around them. This is going to take forever. Let's click this button. Oh, wait, no, they are lined up pretty much okay. I just don't think it looks good. The boat isn't large enough that these look like... Well, I guess if we offset this down a bit, it might work. Let's try that. So let's just move the boats down. Oh, wait, the boats and the bridge are on the same thing. We gotta delete the bridge. Okay, so now just move this down. But now it looks like it's too close to the bridge. Ugh. There's no winning, is there? Well, if this idea doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. Alternatively, we could just make it so that all of your characters are on boats. Yeah. Yeah, I'd want to move it down another few pixels, and then we'd hit the bridge. Right, like I don't think this is super convincing. I think we can move it down though and have it update in real time, and it'll just look bad. Yeah, so that looks convincing. That looks like they're actually on the boat. We could play with that in a special placement order. Yeah, we did a special placement order. If we only allowed like 4 adventurers or something. But I don't think I want to do that right now. I mean, does it look like it's too close? Maybe it's not maybe it's not bad. It's like they're just kind of, no, it's kind of bad. Yeah, it's like touching that. Although if we put this on a lower layer, maybe it'll work. Yeah, now it just looks like a depth effect. That, well, kind of. I don't know. How's that? Yeah, all right. Let's try it. So now what I want to do is I want to get this and I want to paste this a bunch of times. So it's just a long fishing boat. Yeah, we need one more tile there. So this part needs to be moved out. There. Does it even look like a boat anymore? Mm, I don't know. Come to me for scratches and he enjoyed so much that he purrs and tries to bite me. Cats. Is she? I I'm not sold on this. And maybe if we only had boats, it would look a little better. But yeah, I don't think you need to send out like 3 boats into a little fishing pond. It does make me wonder, should we just expand the pier area? Make it a snake boat, like just an S. Problem is we don't have any tileable middle part of the bridge. So we'd have to make a special thing for that. So we can't just expand the bridge vertically. Not that that would probably look good anyway. There are different boat graphics here. So we could put like this at the end of one of them. Except for that looks busted. Oh, it's supposed to go like that? Oh, maybe that would look slightly better? I don't even know if that's how it's supposed to look. No, I think it looks silly. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. What do they have in their picture here? It's actually in the middle of the boat. Oh, and they have the little flags and stuff too. I guess that looks a lot better. Also, interesting. I didn't notice they had different stalls here. We could have used this. Did they use any other boat that they have? No. It's just that one that they show. Yeah, I think making it long is a mistake. All right, well, what else can they be standing on then? We can't use the bridge graphic. Maybe we could do something like this. I don't know. Yeah, maybe they could just be floating on stuff. Like a barrel. Oh man. All right, I'm gonna try it. Maybe we do keep one boat and we put something like this here. Oh, I guess it has to go on top. Oh, let's just put this on this layer for now and just see what this looks like. Oh, it needs to be offset as well. Yeah, lily pads. Do we have any lily pads? I guess that could kind of look like one. But otherwise, I don't think we have an explicit lily pad here. Do we have it in any other ones of these? No, I don't think it should be that hard to draw if we really wanted one. But yeah, having them be on barrels. The thing is, I think the barrels would have to look like they're going up and down, which we could animate. But this all comes down to like how much work do I want to put in this right now? And the answer is not that much. So let's take one of these barrels and I don't know, put it there. I know this is on the wrong layer. I just want to see what it looks like in the game. Yeah, that looks good. I like that. Yeah. All right. So we can put a few barrels in the water down here. There, and there. Okay, that's better. So then, yeah, let's just make the boat look a little bit more boat-like. Maybe mix it up between barrels and chests. Like a floating chest in the water. I don't know if I want to use an item display. Maybe you just meant this. Oops, where the... I'm not sure how I feel about that. It works, but it looks like an item display because that's the same graphic we use. I think I'll leave it as barrels for now. Alternatively, do we have anything else that we could use here? What's this? Yeah, what's this graphic? It's like a small bridge. We could use the small bridge. Whoops, that's not gonna work. We need to put it here. It doesn't really look like a pier though, that's the problem. And we have the pier graphic. Oh no, this looks bad. Okay, never mind. All right, I think it's good enough for now. So now let's figure out how to get these little doodads onto the boat. Oh, there's a little fishing rod off the front of this. Is that what that is? Huh. So I guess we should face the boat the other way. Yeah, I think having these bob up and down would be good eventually. I think I'll write that in the, whoops, I'll write that in the cleanup thing. Improve the battle map. Maybe add animations to the barrels and stuff so that they're bobbing up and down. Maybe the, well, then the adventurers should, or the battlers on top of them should probably also be animated. I'm not sure. We could change the town to adapt. Yeah. If this needs to be positioned low, then what if we just swap the order of these? So what if I took all of this and put this down here? I mean, I guess let's just move it to the side for now. And then all of this and move this up here. Does that look like they're positioned in the right spot still? Yes. So well, except for the one on the right. Oh, that might be the zombie graphic. Yeah, so I think that's what we'll do here. We'll delete these now. How do I select one of these? There we go. And then we'll move this down there. And delete this. How's that? Okay, better. Yeah, I think it looks better to have the barrels on top and the ship thing on bottom. And now we just need to face this in the right direction. And put those little flags and stuff on it. Do we have any flag that looks like a fishing vessel? I don't even know what that would be. Maybe this. And what do they do in the graphic here? They put it on the back. So we needed it to face the other way. What is it about game development you like? I like that it's both creative and technical. And I like games. How do you flip a graphic? Is it the whole layer that has a flip? Hey, Tropical Banana Man. I played a game once. Never again. I don't know where you do that. Let's just look it up. Godot, tile map, layer, H flip. Maybe it's a specific tile thing as you draw. I don't know where that even is. Oh, maybe the tile set can change it. So if I selected this one, for example, rendering, miscellaneous, physics. Huh, weird. I don't know where. Huh. I don't know where you do that. Great alternatives of the tile set, I think. Yeah, I could always just flip them in GIMP or something if that's what you mean. Hey, Celsius. Should be a tool in the painting tab. Bucket. Oh, here it is. Rotate. Oh, I thought this was undo and redo when I looked at it. And then, yeah, they have flip. Okay, so we want to flip all of these things, and I'm not even sure you can do this without having to, like, repaint them. Oh, no, you can. Except for that's not what I want to do. I want to do this. Yeah. Yeah. All right, so does that look good? I don't know, because we only have one adventure down there. We need fish to exist so that they will spawn zombies. One more. One more zombie. Okay, good. Now stop. No, don't kill him. Let's try that again. We're going to get this. There. Okay. Whew. Yeah, that looks pretty good. All right. Everything's so confusing. Feel like just buying a Mac. It's not too bad. If you're using PC Part Picker, it'll pretty much solve all the compatibility issues you might run into. And then you'll get a bunch of parts and you just need to follow all the instructions. And you'll probably feel like you're messing up a lot, but it's somewhat straightforward. Like I said, as long as you're following the instructions. It does take time, and if you don't want to spend that time, then it makes sense to just buy something. All right, so now we get a little flag on the bottom, and we need to flip this. You put this here. Except we need this on probably on a different layer. Let's add one more layer. Boat doodads. We can eventually put this on a separate thing altogether. How did they align this so that it didn't look bad? It was just right on the back of this, and I guess it looks fine. That's not right on the back though. We need to like move this here. No, I'm doing something wrong. What are they doing here? They have that same graphic as me, but it's one tile over. No, 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 no. They have an extra little thing jutting out the back. I didn't use that. Yeah. I gotta add one more little graphic here. How did I mess that up? Huh, I guess I just didn't see it. There we go. And now the flag should look good on it. Yeah, that's pretty much what they had. All right, so how's all that look together? I wonder if putting these lanterns on it would also be good. Hmm. Well, I want that little roll thing. Where's the roll thing? Here it is. So flip that and put that here. Does that look bad? Did it even work? Is it there and I just don't see it? No, the flag's not there. I think we need to restart this. Drat. Because I added a new layer and the layer doesn't get added dynamically, I guess. Which means now I need to do all this again. I think we can just make it so that zombies never die, though, there. And actually, we could just put in the witch doctor and it should be fine. And nothing else. Should just spawn all of the zombies. Well, I guess we need more fish. Stupid fish. There. Dunzo. No, that need to be moved to the left. So we get rid of that from here and we put it over here. Might need to flip that too. Yeah. Did that just stutter? Yeah, okay. Well, this is good enough for now. Now we need to change the border so that there are trees and stone. And then I think we're pretty much good. Terrain, border. All right, so something like this. And then we need it to not be filled on the inside. I wonder. Oh, wait, we could do that, but it would be the wrong connecting tiles. So we need this to be lower than everything else. It already is lower than everything else, right? No, I did that on the ground layer. Whoops. Wait, then how do we do this over here in the fishing pond? We had ground 2. So ground is the water. Ground 2 was on top of it. But how did this go around the outside? Oh, is there... I must have the ground filled in with something else? Yeah, this just needs to be an empty layer otherwise. Ground overlay. I guess this one. Yeah, that works. No, wait, no, it doesn't. No, yes, it will. Okay, cool. Yeah. So let's draw the whole rectangle in then. There. Okay, good. So we have that border. The border should probably be pulled in just a little bit so we can show trees on the outside. So this will actually go like this. And then we delete this part. Yeah, and remove this too. This needs to be just regular ground. Hey, Trackley. Can probably remove the cliffs too. Yeah, I'll have to do that. And then we just put in more trees, which for now I'm just gonna use the same tree everywhere. So this would go like, what am I doing? Oh, I gotta have tiles selected. Yeah, something like that. Okay, now we get rid of this ground that we have here. And we're going to replace it with possibly nothing, actually. Yeah. And now to get it to look like what we have over here, I guess we have some of the ground details and everything, which we could take from the waterways sort of scene. This is in ground overlay. Copy this, put it over here. Does it not copy across scene? It doesn't. I think we'd have to copy the whole layer. We can just figure out where this came from, though. It should be in terrain somewhere, right? Ah, here it is. Dark grass to grass alt. This. And we can just draw some of this in. Yeah. So something like this. Yeah. Okay, like I said, we're just getting this to be good enough for right now. I don't want to spend a ton of time on this, and I've already spent quite a lot. Where's that coming from? Where is that coming from? Where's that one tile coming from? Part of it is in fill, apparently. Although I can't figure out how to delete that. Oh, I just didn't overwrite it in the ground. I see. Got it, got it, got it. All right. Yeah. I think that's good for now. But yeah, I don't think it's great. So making an instance map looks like your pond. Maybe your adventurers fight from a bridge. So this is done. And this is what we ended up with. Oh, oh no. I need this to be pulled in by one tile. What happened there? The wrong thing selected. And then delete this. All right, how's that look? Oh, we need to offset this. Although I guess by showing that either way, it doesn't look very good because it makes it seem like your pond just ends there. So yeah, there. That's what we have for now. The bottom should be trees and not what we put, but okay. Let's go check that in. What changed about this? Load steps increased because we put in the Odyssey thing and then all the tile data for that. Yeah. Sounds good. So we did need this because, well, we used it. We don't necessarily need it. But yeah, I like that. And I think we could add these lanterns or something at the end. I think that'd be fine. This is the new instance. This is the new scene path to it. We modified that and we didn't do anything here. Add fishing pond battle instance. All right, next up, when fleeing, it should say you fished instead of you fled. Where does you fled come from? Right here. This is in the end battle screen. So we could modify this by checking the instance ID. I don't think there's going to be too much that's custom about the fishing end screen. It's just going to show you scales instead of items. Or it's going to show you the scales as though it's an item, but then just not spawn it in the world. Yeah, so I think let's just do that really fast. String fled text equals instance dot ID equals fishing pond. You fished. Okay. That's that. When fleeing the fight, we need to show you rewards. We need to track how many fish you killed. Yeah, so let me think about this. How do we know how much loot you got? Where's that shown? Loot container, show loot, set loot instance. Instance item IDs to grant. Yeah, so we would need an item to show up in here. So scales would look like they're an item, but they're not really an item. And I think that's okay. But this is this also going to put this inside the town? I wonder what's responsible for that. Loot items. Add items instance. What calls this? Instance manager grant items. Battle ended. So if you win the battle is when it gives you items. Interesting. So by fleeing, we won't actually give you the items, but we will need to show them inside the end of battle screen, which we probably don't do right now. Is there something in instance that lets you know that it's a fishing instance? No. All right, I'm gonna add in a boolean for that right now. Public bool is fishing pond. And now we don't need to do this everywhere. And same thing over here. All right, where does loot show up? We should base this on whether you won or lost. Oh, maybe we don't. Maybe we just don't have anything to show if you lost. Okay, let me try something then. If you're fishing, where do we have item IDs to grant? So normally this gets filled in generate loot. But now we want to fill it in if you were fishing and you fled. We just have instance here. I'm going to try this. Is fishing pond. And we got to make it so that you can't debug, leave this thing, and then get these items. Prevent right-clicking to win the fishing battle. It should still just flee. Okay, so let's just add in any random item. It doesn't matter. What is this? A read-only list that what we never set? Yeah, okay, fine. So then let's set it. Equals item ID dot dragon sword. Dragon bone sword. Rage blade? Yeah. All right, that'll make it so that we get an item from this. Let's see if that works. It won't give it to you in the town, but it will show up as an item on the screen, which is what we want because we want to give you fish scales from the battle. And since they never show up, we need the tooltip to be very clear about them. So let's try this out. So we're going to start battle and we're just going to immediately flee. And sure enough, it shows up there and there's no sword in town. Perfect. And it says you fished, which is cool. We're getting there. So now we need a scale graphic. I'm hoping we have something obvious for this. These are coins, but they do kind of look like scales if you don't see them in context. So yeah, maybe we use that. Is there like a fish here? No. Yeah, I think that's the best graphic. Okay, let's use that. Item ID. Do we already have this manifested? We might, and we might just refer to it something other than coin. So let's see, it's near the books. Search for book. Spell book, tome. Gold ring. Gold ring. I think we skipped a bunch. Yeah. So then this doesn't represent the total number? Yeah, 170. I don't think it can. I'll just manifest these. It's not a problem. But yeah, I think there are more than 170 graphics here, right? 3, 6, 9, 12, 14. 3, 6, 9, 12, 14. Yeah, that's already 196. So yeah, we have. Yeah, it didn't add everything. Yep. So let's put fish scales here. 171. All item data. Put this at the bottom. Fish scales. Category, I'm going to put potion only because, well, actually we could put none. Then if this ever did drop in town, there'd be a problem. So let's just make it be a potion for now. Value is 0. Actually, yeah, I guess value would be 0. Scales. What should I say for this? Use these to increase your adventurer's fortitude. Well, the category should hopefully never matter. All right, now coordinates. We got to find the right coordinates for this. So let's look at small blue potion. Coordinates are 1, 1. So we are ignoring this 0, 0. Okay, good. It's good to know. So this is at 129.65. So it's actually 128.64. So that's what? 8, 4. And then we just manifest these instead of the Rage Blade. These are really cool fish scales, yeah. Oh, and we need to show however many of these you would have had. So we need to know how many of these you defeated, how many fish you defeated. All right, so let's just keep track of that here. Public int num fish caught. And every time you call catch fish, we just increase that number. Where is catch fish? Why is it not? Why is it not here? What do I call that function? What is going on? What? I wrote a function for this. Huh. I don't know where I put it. Caught fish, not catch fish. Oh, my bad. Okay. Well, anyway, there. Numfish caught levels. All right, now we're going to do something a little bit wonky here, but yeah. So if it's the fishing pond, then we're going to say, is there a way to like repeat the same thing? I guess we can just make this a for loop. Is there a repeat or something? Dot times. Nah, doesn't matter. All right, anyway, for in I equals 0, I is less than. So we need the instances battle system, but it's a fishing battle system. Oh, that worked. Okay. And then item IDs to grant. It's a read-only list, so we actually can't do this. Ugh. You do numerable dot repeat. Okay, that'll work. Numerable dot repeat. Item ID fish scales and int num fish caught. So the AI should know how to do this, then should know how to change this next bit. It doesn't seem to care, so I'm not gonna bother. Num fish caught. All right. Yeah, that should do it. No, wait, no, that shouldn't do it. It's not the number of fish you caught, it's the number of scales you got. Yeah. Oh, and also, oh, darn it. Yeah, the number of scales you get is based on the fishing pond. And we need to know how many you got from just this battle. And then render that many. I guess we should only give you one scale per fish. Because items don't truly have a quantity, they just render with a quantity. Which is kind of silly, because if you ever did drop like 1,000 fish scales, what's happening is you're making a list of 1,000 things, then later collapsing it into one item that looks like it's got 1,000 quantity. It shouldn't ever really have an impact here, but it's not a smart way of handling things. Yeah, I don't think we care about how many fish you caught. I think we care about how many scales you have. Okay, let's change this. We'll say num scales earned. And we'll just do this. And have this return how many scales you just got. Let's do it this way. Int scales to grant scales per fish. And return that. Got it. And then the instance is going to be broken. Yeah. Because this isn't scales to grant. This is, or sorry, this isn't fish caught. It's scales to grant. Num scales earned. Oh man, I just don't like this. Like if we ever granted 2 million from battle, we're gonna have some gigantic list. Well, we're gonna have to be careful with that. I'll write this down in the cleanup thing though. The way that we grant fish scales is not optimal. We make a list whose length is the number of scales so that we can collapse them all into one item. How does that collapsing even work? End battle screen does a group by here. Yeah, okay. Change this anyway and we'll return a list of tuples. Yeah. With item stacking, this should be much easier. Or just like an item. Yeah, I guess it could be a list of tuples. You're wearing a Skeleseller t-shirt at the moment. Nice, 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 nice. Okay, well, I think this should work. Let's go try it out. And technically you do get the fish scales, but there's nothing you can do with them yet. Hi, when's the release? I think we'll be in early access in fall. I don't know. We're probably like 60% done with the game. All right, so let's see. If we just flee the battle right now, it's going to give us 0 fish scales. Yeah. But if we actually defeat the fish, let's beat 1 fish and then flee. Nice, cool. Check it out. Okay, well, you can't really see that, but fish scales, value 0G. Use these to permanently increase your adventurer's fortitude. And then we need a note here. Do we ever use any UI constants? No, we don't. Yeah, we need to fix the fish shadow shouldn't be showing up. They smell terrible. Sure, whatever. Let's make a UI constants thing now. /n/n UI constants. That is not how that works. Yeah. Oh, I see. I know why I did that. Color equals that. These automatically show up in your adventurers screen. I don't know. Panel. I don't know what we should write here. I want to say UI, but I can't say UI. Um, dialogue. Automatically show up. I'll just say when customizing your adventurers. Maybe something like that. What is that extension for VS Code? Which extension? Because I'm definitely happy to answer, but I'm not sure which one you're talking about. I have a bunch of extensions in that video. Search all. Oh, that's not an extension. That's built in. That is, let me see if I can find that. Search. I'll just do it by keyboard shortcut. It is quick search. Yeah. And yeah, it's super helpful. All right, so wait, what did I even just do? Oh yeah, I modified the, oh, that's not gonna work. I modified the tooltip of that. So if I do click win here, you'll get these in town, and then they'll be treated as a potion. Did we get them? Oh, we don't. Oh man, this is actually working. Okay, yeah. I know why, because I put this in an if else chain and it wasn't until, oh, all the fish are gone. That seems like a problem. Oh, because winning doesn't put them doesn't put them back in the pond? Or winning probably kills them all? Yeah, we definitely need to stop you from winning that. All right, well, we don't have an easy way to create fish. Maybe I should make it so you can right click to get more fish. So I don't need to keep doing this. But until then, okay, so we beat one fish. We click flee. We get fish scales. It says use these to permanently increase your adventurer's fortitude. They smell terrible. These automatically show up when customizing your adventures. Yeah, maybe we should even write note : yeah. But otherwise, I think this is pretty good. Yeah. Nice. Nice. All right. So now let's go kill a bunch of fish. So we'll send this into here. The mage can fight there. And that'll give us potions, which will fill up the fish pond. And then over here, we'll fight with all of our other characters in the fishing pond. Yeah. So as the mage wins battles, the worker will come bring potions, which we should probably make more workers then. There we go. So they have fish to fight. And now when we finally flee the battle, we see you got 23 fish scales. Not bad. Do other tooltips have that note in italics? Let's find out. Not italicized. Not italicized. And that might have been the only places we do that. Yep. Not turning them into fish oil. I thought the scales made more sense for fortitude. Also, it lets us use this graphic. Okay, so I think that's working. When fleeing, we need to show rewards. Done. Tooltip for fleeing should probably say that you'll end the fishing session and walk away with all your fish. What does it say right now? Flee the battle. There's no penalty for fleeing. Yeah, we could modify this and say something like end the fishing session. You will keep all of the scales you earned. flee the battle. This is just hard-coded. We need to custom edit this. I'll do that in the next commit. I think it's worth it. I think it'll also be obvious as you do this sort of thing. Fields should be private. This is get private set. That's good, 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 good. Yeah, a little unusual. Not the happiest with that, but I don't think it's bad. Did this ever go away? Do not declare visible instance field. Because I just changed that, and I'm hoping that disappears. Grant scales from fishing battles. It doesn't look like it did, but I bet it actually did. You still can't see the scales anywhere or do anything with them, but at least you can earn them now. Yeah. Okay. Tooltip for fleeing should probably change. Let's go do that. That is in instance or instance slot. There it is. Flee tooltip. This is already accessed by a unique name, but we never actually do that. Strange. Or maybe we, oh, I see. That's why we do this. And now we want to customize this text based on the instance. Okay, yeah, I think that's pretty reasonable. So let's get it. Tooltip on parent, flee tooltip. Flee tooltip is equal to that. And then set its text based on whether it's a fishing battle or not. String flee text equals is fishing pond. All right, now we got to go figure out where that was. Penalty. Here it is. What did I just do? That's what I did. All right, so this goes here. And then the fishing one should say something like end the fishing session and keep any skills you earned. Yeah. Oh, thanks for the bits, Tropical Banana Man. For whatever reason, it didn't make a sound. Mind changing the one in the scene to set in code? Yeah, I'm going to do that. Yep. Yeah, I know it'll make localizing easier, and I haven't finished reading the localization stuff, which I definitely need to do. Did hear, but it was quiet. Huh. Okay. Well, like I said, thank you. It's very nice of you. All right, let's go test this out. So when you do a regular battle, it says the same thing. Flee the battle. There is no penalty for fleeing. But when you go into a fishing battle, and we need to wait for the rogue to make it back there, it says end the fishing session. You keep any skills you earned. Cool. I'm not mad about that at all. It should be a siren, an air raid siren. Tropical Banana Man just cheered for 500 bits. Wii U, Wii U, Wii U. All right, we're done with this. This is change flee button text. It now has a specific message for fishing sessions. And that concludes what we have written for battling. But we had an idea from Lammy that I want to do. Where is it? Here. What if fish didn't have regular HP bars, but are instead hooked to fishing rods and lower their HP the further they're pulled upward? So here's what I'm thinking we do. Right now, it looks like the fish are hovering above the water. That's kind of problematic. What I'm thinking is we make them look like they're in the water, and they slowly rise and get more opaque as they rise. And that happens with their life bar draining. I'll be able to get some more keys for my keyboard soon. Hey, how you doing, Cord? Or as Wendy calls you, Corpsey. Whimsy. Yeah, I kind of want to try that idea. And then we need to mess with the shadows and everything too. But technically this part's done, so let's move this down to the bottom. So I want to test what Lammy suggested. Show fish in the water and slightly transparent. As they take damage, make them rise and become more opaque. Is that interesting though? Whether or not I had a tilde key? Of course I have a tilde key. Why would I have a tilde key? There are some keys I did not put on this keyboard. I don't have num lock, scroll lock. I don't think I have a pause break key. And if I do, I don't know where it is. And I don't have an apps key. I think that's all I did not add. But clearly I haven't needed those. To be honest, the cases where I would need some of that stuff maybe would be, oh, they'd be pretty obscure things, I guess. Yeah. Sinistello, if you're on Windows, you can rebind it to control with a registry edit. Rebind caps lock to control. At least that way, if you hit it, there's no real problem with that. Yeah. Just follow this here. That's what I tend to do on Windows. What about those characters? No, I don't have those characters. I'd use text expansions for those. It is better for gaming too. It's definitely better for gaming because some games don't block. Oh wait, no, never mind. Sorry. It's definitely better for gaming because you're not going to type in caps. You're going to be yelling at your teammates. Also, built-in full keyboard remapping option works. So yeah, Ben suggested it could work there too. Okay, so before we do this work, because this probably will be at least a decent amount of work, is it worth it? Oh, also I should write that down. Right click the fishing pond to add fish on a debug build. Good idea. Yeah, so again, what I'm picturing here, ignore the shadow. The shadow shouldn't be there. But we make this fish look slightly transparent. We like lower it into the water sort of, and you're like pulling it out of the water. But then it would die. I guess technically you should catch it. So we should change the death animation to be like them getting caught somehow. Maybe we should just try it and see if it feels good. Yeah, fine. I'm not totally sold. Why does it?
Whoops.
Oh, this is my mouse messing up. Hang on a second. Every once in a while, my mouse gets a modifier key stuck down and I can't left click anymore. And that's what just happened. So I unplugged my mouse and I plugged it back in and now everything's fine. So the proper way to do this would be to have two different kinds of battlers. A battler and like a fish. And the fish have some special thing that happens whenever their life changes. So we're going to do this in a suboptimal way at first just to see if it looks good. Make the caught fish fly there. It would probably be nice to be able to see how much you've actually earned from battle. Then we'd have to delete the death animation though. And we'd also need more custom stuff inside the fishing instance. How fun. Yeah, we would probably need to make a fishing instance and like a battle instance. Probably have a fishing instance and a battle instance so that we don't need if we end up, I'm not gonna write this down. I think it's gonna be obvious. Okay, so health component, does it have like an on health changed event? It probably doesn't. Oh, it does. Oh, look at that. I guess it needs it, or else how do we do life bars? Okay, so health changed. How do we get life bars to work then? Life bars must have, yeah, here. We initialize with a health component, so we must listen to this here. We do, and then we must stop listening to it over here. We do. Okay. Yeah, sure. So on died, we need the same thing over here. Health changed. What I'm surprised about is the thing that should suggest a code for me from the AI should know that I want to change this next. And it doesn't. Okay, here's where things get a little annoying. So if this is not the fishing instance, didn't it make an is fishing thing? Oh, this is inside Battler. Oh, darn it. They don't even have a reference to the instance, do they? Nope. They don't. So the instance would need to listen to them. Hmm. Hmm. No, we don't need to do that. We just know if this is a fish. If it's a fish, then it has to be in a fishing battle. Yeah. Smart. So if you don't have the fishing component, just return. Okay. Hey, Sarah. All right, so now what we want to do is change the y coordinate. I think it would just be the y coordinate and the alpha of this fish as it takes more damage. So we need the percent life. Float percent life equals this. Wait, what? We store the health component? Huh. That's sure, whatever. We have percent life here. Okay. Y coordinate. How much do we want to be able to change this? So float y difference or like y delta y when fished. It's like 6 pixels or something. And then how would we do this? We need to know where they started in battle. Something positions this, but I think it's the battle itself. Hmm. Yeah, the opacity will do differently here. I'm just trying to think how will we set where this thing is. We need to know how much the life changed by each time, or we need to know where this thing started. We actually could compute where it started based on where it is, but there'd be some floating point rounding things that might make this a little wonky. So I guess we should keep track of its start Y. Where does this thing get positioned though? Grid info component? Oh, wait, there we go, right? The grid position should be all we need. Where do we use this? Set world position. Convert grid position to world position. This is done in the battle system, which we don't have a reference to. Oh, how fun. Isn't reading the nodes position enough? It is, but basically what's happening here is we're going to get this function called, and let's say you lose like 25% of your life. You should be at like 2 pixels higher. And then at 50%, you should be at 4 pixels higher, and so on and so forth. So what happens when you go from 75% to 74%? You should be like 2 point whatever, 0.1 pixels higher. So we need to know that we're only moving you by 100th of a pixel, which we need to compute the difference, which I don't think we have at that point. Hey, what'd you just say to me? Thanks for the resub. Welcome back. So yeah, if we just store your starting Y position, that would be good enough. But that's assuming that we even positioned them at the right spot before Yeah, advance next stage does this. Position in first empty slot. Add battler. Battler gets initialized before that though. Yeah, that's a problem. Doesn't health change give you the delta? It doesn't, although I guess we could change it to do that. Yeah, we could compute the delta right here and then pass it in. And then modify like every single place that this is used in the code base. Spiro, whoa. Thank you for the 10 gifted subs. Came out of nowhere. I don't even think I saw you say hi. Honestly, pretty rude. No, kidding. Yeah, thank you. Hope you're doing well. I have not been watching a lot of Twitch lately, but every time I see your stream titles, I see the sensational like, ex-homeless, ex-high school dropout death. But yeah, thank you. I hope things are going well. So should we just pass in the delta here? I mean, this would work. Yeah, I guess let's do it. Delta, invoke this with the delta. Oh no, I'm sure it's true. I think this is also like how people put titles in all caps or something, right? It doesn't affect the veracity of the title. It just changes the attention grabbiness. Can't convert from float to question mark question mark. What did I do? Is that not actually there? Oh, it isn't. Oh my god. Did you see what just happened there? 3 months of tier 1 sub. Wow. See, it pays off to complain, Sorrow. And thank you again, Spiro. That's like 13 gifted subs. You're a one-man hype train. Yeah, I want to show that off again because this. Take a look at this. So it looks like this code is typed, but it's not. So when I read this, I'm like, there's no mistake here. But it's because it doesn't exist yet, and I had to press tab to get it there. Those are the only little things I'm kind of annoyed by right now. Like if I'm ever typing a comment, why did this not auto type? There we go. So let's say this. This is a good example. I have not typed this text, but it's practically impossible to tell that I haven't typed the text because it was gray anyway. And now it highlighted it in blue, but that's only because of that experimental feature that I have. Oh, hey, there's a setting for this. Can I change the color? That did literally nothing. Are you kidding me? I clicked settings, did I not? Did it just go away forever now? Look at this. I click settings. It does nothing. Huh. Well, that's got to be a bug. Anyway, this on health changed is now being invoked for the delta. So every single listener is going to be broken. Well, well, well. Let's go find every single listener then. Health change, float delta. We're just going to ignore it anyway. There is no argument given that corresponds to the required. Why do we do this? Oh, why do we do this here? This is like set the existing health, I guess 0. Yeah, should work. Okay, so those are done. Yeah, I gotta sneeze. I couldn't sneeze. I just want to sneeze. All right, this now takes in a delta. And then based on the delta, we're going to raise this thing, which I'm not going to worry about that yet because we had to go modify party member base for health. No, party member. Health changed. Here it is. This is update life bar. This should take in float delta. Or no, it shouldn't. Let's just delete that. Let's change. Oh, wait, no, we're going to need to do that. And then anywhere we call this, since that's ignored, this will just be passed in with 0. Okay, so the code should build. This is not going to do what I want yet. So here's what we got to do now. We got to figure out how much in terms of percentage does your life change. So percent delta is going to be equal to delta divided by max life. And then the delta y is going to be those things. And then we're going to change its position. So let's just try this. This should make the fish move by 6 pixels over the course of being killed. And I'm hoping this looks good. I think it's going to work. I don't think we messed anything up here. Maybe we made it move in the wrong direction or something. That's, yeah, maybe it's moving downward. But, yeah, how does it look? No, it's moving upward. So yeah, this is what I wanted to do to make it look like it's getting fished up. Although there is kind of another problem here, which is that as you move this 6 pixels up, it might collide with something else in its health bar. Also, we're doing such slow damage that it looks... Oh no, we're just moving the sprite. We're not moving the health bar. So this actually is pretty good. All right, I like that. Now let's change the alpha as well. So they should probably start... Where is this? Sprite dot modulate. No. Self modulate. Nothing should be under the sprite, so I'm gonna make it modulate. Is equal to a new color. Yeah, start at half opacity. Again, this might look bad. Let's just try this out. And then what is this? 1 minus % delta. No, I don't want that. I want it to be 0.5 plus the % life missing times 0.5. That should work, right? So let's see, % life missing. If there's no life missing, then it'll be at just half opacity. Yeah, let's try that out. Use lerp and said, yeah, I got to start doing that. I keep forgetting about that. And I just did this somewhere else too, and I probably should have lerped that. All right, so now we go into a fishing battle. And now the fish hopefully look like they're underwater. Ignore the shadow. Again, the shadows got to get deleted. We increase the game speed a bit now. We should see this slowly rise and become more visible. Yeah. So it's working. With a very tiny fish, it's not obvious. And then, yeah, I'm thinking when you catch them, their death animation is they like fly into a barrel or something. Yeah. Something like that. Okay, so lerp the colors. Colors dot white dot lerp with a new color. No. It's this color with colors white, and the weight is going to be this. All right, so now we store this somewhere. Private const color. I don't think you can even make const colors, can you? Like starting opacity fish modulate. Yeah. And it's going to say that's not constant. Nope. Read only. Now what? That's in the wrong location. Unused field. Public members should come before private members. We'll never, ever escape that. Good. All right, so now this gets used in both of those spots. You hyped for the new Mac Studios? No, but that's only because I spent a lot of money on this one and I'm just going to get the full value out of it. Probably use this for another like 5 or 6 years. And then maybe consider getting a new computer. I'm actually not even aware what the new Mac Studios provide compared to the current one. Has it already been announced? What am I looking at? No, I don't think it's been announced yet, right? The flapper on the side of the lake gasping for air. I do not think we have to do that. Must be a net or hook dropping from above and pulling them up, something like that. Yeah. I think getting a special animation for this would be great. It's very hard to tell if this is convincing when there's a shadow there. We got to get rid of the shadow. And that's already been on the list for a while now. Maybe we should have them even start a little lower than normal. Yeah. Maybe. I'm not sure if it's a good idea, but let's... Oh, we wouldn't even be able to do that, though, because these get positioned afterward. Yeah. Okay, well, that's fine. I think this is good enough for now. All right, let's go do the shadow thing. Where is that task? Cut out the shadows of the fish. Pixie has a shadow baked in the spray. We should probably manifest a hide shadow boolean that defaults to false and set it to true on the pixies and fish. We could actually just do this really simply over here, right? Just shadow.hide. Okay, there, that's it. And then we return there anyway. Okay, let's try that out. Dual M4 max. So the thing is, at this point, I think most people using a Mac Studio are only going to be bottlenecked for tasks that are essentially for professionals. Things like video editing, exporting things, maybe compiling. I don't know for sure. But like your normal computer usage is going to be totally unaffected by any of the performance improvements, or at least you're not going to notice it. So like this computer, I think has been great. The things that I noticed that it's slower for is video exporting, which is just a very, very heavy task. And building the game, which is a combination of like C# and Godot, and probably can't be sped up too much by the computer itself, rather by me like partitioning code. Could also add a water splash animation when they fly out to make it obvious they've been pulled out. That is a good idea. Yeah, I think having an animation would also, or like having them go to a barrel would also help. But yeah, these two things together I think would be good. We're probably not gonna do that at first. Probably save that for polish for later. All right, so now I don't have shadows. And yeah, as you do damage them. Okay, how about this? Let's flee this battle. So it puts the two fish back in the pond. We're gonna make the rogue more powerful so they don't take so long winning this fight. Let's give them like these abilities. Okay, now let's try that fight again. All right, definitely harder to see for the small fish because there's a bunch of slash graphics over them. Put this in there. I guess it's always going to be hard to see that. I mean, it wasn't that much to code. I feel like we should keep this, but they're always going to be covered in a bunch of damage graphics. And the fish are pretty tiny to begin with. Maybe raising their Y coordinate is not smart. Yeah, I don't think it looks smart. It looks like you're... It doesn't look like you're pulling them out. It looks like you're pulling them to the side. I think all we need to do to make them look like they're getting pulled out is to change their alpha. I think this is bad. Yeah, I think this is going to be better. Although, as I mentioned earlier, the fish aren't big enough for you to see that they're getting pulled out because they're getting hidden by the other graphics underneath. All right, let's do that again. Let's give them some skill points here. Sure, whatever. It doesn't matter what I pick. Actually, no, we don't want execute to be high level. So now go into the battle, rogue, fish. Whoa, why are they doing so much damage? Add a bunch of workers. Oh, because of stealth? Oh, I see. Or maybe critting? Maybe the combination of the two. Okay, there's just one change I want to make now. And that's I wanted them to reach full opacity faster so that it looks like they're at the top of the water sooner. So we do this times 2. Because lerp shouldn't be a problem if the weight is greater than 1, right? A value in the range of 0 to 1. Yeah, I wonder what happens if you pass in 2, though. Mathf.lerp. From plus 2 minus from times weight. No, so that can go beyond the maximum. Okay, so then we just clamp it ourselves. Mathf.clamp this between 0 and 1. So we don't do any of this delta y stuff, which means you don't even need this. So it's just a modulate that changes. It doesn't look like it clamps itself, although colors might clamp it. Like the color realizes, oh, hey, you provided a value outside of the range of 0 to 1, so I'll clamp it myself. In fact, I probably should have looked at that to see if that's the case. Let's take a look. New color. Oh, you can't look at the definition of that. Yeah, I mean, we could verify this is even happening. Playground. Console.log. So we're going to lerp from 0 to 1. And weight is set to 5. Run. Mathf does not exist. Type or namespace mathf cannot be found. Where does mathf exist? What? Is it just in math? System.math? I'm going to stop guessing pretty soon. Is there a mathf in there? Okay, I don't know. C# mathf. Where does this come from? Namespace system. Oh, it's capitalized? Okay, I'm confused. And what did I even use here? Lerp? Oh, does lerp not exist in this version of it? It says the mathf doesn't exist. Which, again, I'm not totally sure. It's Godot mathf? Really? Oh. Well, then that answers that. All right, doesn't matter. We got it working. Let's try it out, though. I don't know if I rebuild. So now when the fish is at half life, it is going to be at full opacity. Yeah, so it looks like it's getting pulled up out of the water. No, maybe that was a dumb change. Because now it looks like it's on the surface of the water. Maybe we just shouldn't lerp. Maybe it should be a different interpolation function. Yeah. Do I exclusively use Mac? No, I use Windows for gaming. I used to exclusively use Windows for everything. I'm going to multiply this by like 1.3. I'm just going to write, we multiply maybe just like const float lerp factor. Yeah. Okay, this is so that the fish reaches full opacity sooner than when it's dead. Let me just delete this stuff. You could have the shadow appear when it's over the water to help it stand out. Yeah, that's true. The thing I worry about is, will it make it look like it's floating above the water? Because that wouldn't really make sense. But yeah, we could do something like shadow.show and then shadow.modulate is equal to the opposite of this. Like colors.transparent lerp with colors dot white. So it's gonna be transparent, fully transparent when you're not missing any life. Yeah, something like this. I mean, let's try that out and see how it looks. AFK, did I answer your question? I use Windows for gaming, but that's all I use it for right now. And even then, the gaming is just games that aren't on Mac. If there's a game on Mac, I'll still game on a Mac. I don't use this keyboard when I game. That is not very easy. I have like a regular keyboard. All right, so we should see a shadow pull up while we sell seashells by the seashore. I don't see it. Is it showing? Oh, there it is. Is that a good effect? I know it's really subtle, but I don't think I like it. I am too. Yeah, I don't think I like it. Can I zoom in on this more? This is like impossible to see. There we go. So you see the little shadow showing up right there. I don't think it looks good. So yeah, let's just cut that out. Hey, banana. Other banana. Don't worry, I'm safe. There's a man, my favorite thing to do when I get an unexpected purchase is to say that the store forced me to get it. So I came home from Costco the other day and I'm like, look, don't get mad at me. But they had they had a lot of baked goods and they were just forcing customers to take them. So I put some baked goods in the cart. Now I've got to eat them because we don't waste food in this house. All right, this looks good. Looks good. Yeah, honestly, this wasn't such a bad change or anything. What a hero. Hey, Boem, how you doing? You know, Boem, I tried that game that you really, really liked called, hang on, Against the Storm. And I played for approximately 2 minutes and then uninstalled it. I just can't deal with any complexity in video games anymore. And when they were like, "Oh, hey, here's a resource that fills up and here's another one that goes away," I'm like, that's too much. But it's probably a very good game. OMG. What a not hero. I know. I know. Also, it sounds just sort of grotesque that I would just uninstall a game after 2 minutes, but like I said, I don't have patience for learning games at this point. I want to play a game and just have fun immediately. Yeah, this is looking good. So we would just need to hide the pixie shadows then, not the fish shadows anymore. I understand why you didn't like it. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so animate fish, make fish in battle become more opaque. I also hid their shadows since they looked bad. Note, I tried animating the fish's Y coordinate as it took damage, but it didn't look convincing. Okay. So this is done. Well, the way Lammy was suggesting it originally was they just don't even have HP bars. I don't think I want to do that, but let's see what it looks like because it's not that hard to do. So when we hide the shadow, what if we just also hid the life bar? I feel like I've totally warped my consumption of media. Like we've been watching Severance, and I said to my wife, I'm like, I cannot watch this show at normal speed. Like I will stop watching the show if that's what it takes. So she's like, okay, so we've been watching it at 2x. And it's very enjoyable at 2x. Love it. Pacing is great when you double it. And yeah, with video games too, it's like I, I'm looking for a specific thing out of games, I feel, where I can just sort of get into this monotonous grind. All right, so they don't have life bars now. Actually, this is it's a pretty interesting effect. I feel like they're very slowly going to full opacity though. Without being able to zoom in on this, I think this is going to be bad. I feel like we've hurt accessibility here. That's the craziest thing I've ever heard. You know, the other people I talk to that I know in real life who like Severance, they like the pacing of the show, and it is just baffling to me. There's the other show on Apple TV that I watched was Silo, and I liked season 1, thought it was good. And then season 2, I'm not going to spoil anything. Episode 1 had 0 plot points. And then episode 2 had like a quarter of a plot point. I'm exaggerating, but it was so painfully slow that I was just like, I'm done. I finished the second episode, I think, and I was just like, I'm gonna go look at the plot synopses, and that was much more enjoyable. I feel like I'm turning the same, speed up videos more and more. Yeah, I think part of like I always think of this in terms of spiciness for food. Everyone wants their food to be at their level of spiciness, and that's a different amount for everybody. And for someone like me, it's like I want it to feel hot, and sometimes I want to be crying as I eat food, but not all the time. And it's the same thing for speed of media consumption. It's like I'm bored if I'm watching certain things at normal speed. Like Hearthstone. Hearthstone has such slow animations that I just can't do it. Never tried? You should give it a shot. YouTube has it as a feature for everyone, and now they have an experiment that lets you go up to 4x. Worse Zoomer brain rot than I have. It's it's hard to say what led to this because I think part of it was feeling like I'm optimizing my media watching. Like I don't think it came from an attention span thing. I think it came from a compulsion to be efficient. I was always doing something else while watching TV or movies. Yeah, that's something I've always struggled to do. I feel like if I have a show on, I want to catch every single line and every single detail in that show. And when those details are too slow, then I speed up the show rather than I just do something else. All right, we're going to revert this because I don't think this looked good, but yeah. Maybe slower, but the characters are arguably better developed. Yeah, I'm not saying that everyone should dislike the show. It was a bad show. It was a bad show for me because I was bored to tears. It's like if you're playing a game and you're not having fun after an hour or two, it's probably a bad game for you. Like, how many games should you stick through past the 2 hour mark if you're not enjoying it? And lots of games, maybe there's a game out there that lasts for 60 hours and you have fun for about 20 of those hours and then it just dips. Then maybe you should stop playing the game. Like, I think it's reasonable. I've talked to a friend of mine who played, God, what was that game? No, actually, it was Final Fantasy VII. Yeah, I think they were playing Rebirth, and they were just like, I played for 40 hours, and I felt like I saw enough of the game, and I was just kind of done with it at that point. And I felt the same way after about 15 hours. Gonna watch this in 2x. That Skeleseller we've done twice as fast. You think they put Subway Surfer below it, you'd be able to watch it? No. God, what was that game that I played recently? Um, it was that idle game that was a very tongue-in-cheek game. Stimulation something. What was it called? Stimulation Clicker. Yeah. Is there like a normal place you can go play this game? Why are they always? Why is it always like sucky hosted sites? What is this? There's stimulation-clicker.org, stimulationclicker.net. These are some like re-hosted versions of this game. I don't know where you're supposed to find the definitive canonical link for this. Look at this. Stimulationclicker.club. What is going on here? It's some like wild SEO nightmare land. This is the good one. Yeah, okay. So anyway, all right. So for those who haven't seen this and don't want to pull this up themselves, it starts off like any other clicker game. You click a couple times, then you can unlock a bouncing DVD logo. And every time this hits the side of the screen, you get an extra stimulation. This just keeps getting more and more absurd, and there are like sounds layered on top of this, videos layered on top of it, like it's raining, you're clicking random things, there's like a stock market, etc. And Subway Surfers actually does show up there. Okay, so we're gonna go right that this is done. Does it bounce faster if you make the window smaller? I think the size of the canvas is the same. I'm not sure. All right, so this stuff's done. What if fish didn't have regular HP bars? Do we need fishing rods? Can we be pulling these up out of the water? So changing the opacity. Okay, I'm gonna mark this as basically done. Update, we didn't hide the life bars, but I did change the opacity of fish as they're caught. Okay, upgrading the pond via perks, saving and loading stuff. Adding perks, it's not like it's hard to do. We already have the ability. In fact, if we wanted to do this super cheaply, we could just put the perks right in here and it'd be very, very simple. But I think we should have a custom UI for this. And it should reuse this perks menu. It isn't getting smaller for me and I'm getting points faster. Huh. All right, let's go take a look at how this is done. Player skill tree. Isn't there something that extends from this? It's just that. Oh, I didn't know you could do this. I accidentally just found this dialog here. If you right click in the file system thing over here and go to edit dependencies, you can just swap out scenes with other scenes. The way I always did this myself is by modifying this as text. It's kind of interesting. I've seen that window before when you have a broken dependency. I didn't know you could do this anytime. It's kind of cool. All right, I don't know where this thing is. Perks, town perks. What does this inherit from? Player ability tree. Okay, so presumably we should be able to inherit from this with our fishing perks thing, right? What happens here? Something else needs to use this too, doesn't it? No? Why? What? Why did we do this? There must have been the skell tree when we did this. Yeah. Huh. Skell tree used to extend it. Yeah. Okay. Well, this should be, I think, pretty straightforward. All right, let's go into the fishing pond. So we need a bulletin board that you can click. Let's also go into town hall, I guess. Where is the town hall? Oh, we got rid of the bulletin board. Oh, man. Okay, well, whatever. Let's put in a bulletin board somewhere. We don't have a great spot for it. That's the only problem. And I feel like if the NPC is here and the extractor is here, then the bulletin board should be like here. But we need to clear out space for it. Yeah. Yeah, well, what are you going to do? All right. Bulletin board. Put this down here. That's bizarre. The bulletin board has a baked-in polygon for what the tavern needs? Why did we do that? That's not even the shape anymore. No, this overrides it. Oh, so the bulletin board just doesn't need this wacky shape up here. Clickable area. It's a collision polygon. There are two of them. All right, I think we just delete this. Or put it on the bulletin board itself and not anything outside of it. Yeah, I think we just change this. We should be fine, but I hope it doesn't delete this. Let's see what happens. So how do we hide everything else that's going on here? There's one. There's another. Okay, yeah, so here are the shapes. There's one there and there's one there. I want to see what happens if we just change this to be like, whoops, that's not what I meant to do. All right, does that mess everything up? Tavern. No. Because we overwrote it for this. Okay, so if we just delete a lot of these points, we should be fine. Yeah. Now we just need to line this up. Oh, is that impossible? It looks like it's impossible. There's probably some grid thing we can turn off here. That works, right? Yeah, that works. Okay. All right, so we put a bulletin board next to the fishing pond. And then load it up through Godot so we can see where this thing ended up. It's going to be on top of something. Yeah, I just needed to be in generally the right area. Then we make it functional. Yeah, that is generally the right area. I think we want to move it up now. And then maybe get rid of that bush. Let's try that. I'll just put this on the other screen so that you can just see it changing in the world. Okay, so let's move it like that. That's decent, right? Would you know that this is what you click to upgrade this? Oh, you wouldn't need to, because you'll eventually see it in the UI over here too. Yeah, okay, I think that's good enough for now then. I have it next to the pier just below. Like here? Since the fence is in between. Okay, yeah, that's fair. All right, let's move this again. Doesn't really look good. Right? Maybe have it replace the end of the fence next to the water. Like just put it on top of that basically. Imagine the fence isn't there. Yeah, I think if it got rid of the fence, I think it'd be okay. Yeah. So then here's what we'll do. We'll just delete the fence anyway. For the flapping. We're not watching fish torture in the game. You're humanely killing these fish. All right, let me see if I can find this. Give me a sec. Okay, so we do this. Yeah. Are you ready for this? Delete. What's going on? Why is it not deleting? What is going on here? Oh, that's why. There. Okay, so that part of the fence is gone. And now this part of the fence is gone. All right, we like that. That's good. Or should I move that a little bit more? That's pretty good, right? I like that. Yeah. Okay. So this is where you'll click this and it'll give you the new perks dialog, which we have not made yet. But I think it's probably time to take a break. Yeah, so add a new perks dialog that shows up when you click the bulletin board. It should inherit from player ability tree. Whew, okay, I'll be back in just a little bit. Is it jump time? It's jump time. Hey again, close the game. Quickie Joe had me stressing so bad. I didn't get to actually watch, but I hope you had fun. All right, so add new perks dialog. Let's go do that. So there was the town perks, and this must have corresponded to a scene. It does. It's had its own tooltip. And this, oh, that's not what I was hoping for. Okay, so the way that we would do this is we'd make this into a base class of a scene, which is like player-wide skill tree, and then we'd have town perks inherit from this. Hide this tooltip for a second. Let me think about this. Or what if... Well, this one needs to show money, so I guess there is something special about this one. Yeah. The other one... Oh, wait, no. They all need to show money. What am I talking about? Yeah, they all need to show money. Yeah, so then there's nothing special about this other than maybe this thing, the coming soon label. More perks will be added here in future versions. And the label at the top. And so the title would change, and we probably just delete the coming soon label, right? It's probably assumed. Yeah, let's just delete that. It's probably assumed that there will be more perks in the future. So now what? Does that show up correctly? No, that was the only thing sizing this thing. What a usable UI. I'll just scroll down 90 pages. All right, let's just give it a minimum size. What was the size before this? Layout, transform, 350-ish pixels. Yeah. All right, I think we just set that as the minimum size. It should look pretty good. And now we can delete the coming soon label and it won't impact this. It did, because the scroll container isn't what needs a minimum size. It's the VBox container. 350. Wait, this inherits from something. Oh, I see. That's fine. All right, is that better? Yeah, that's better. Yeah. Interesting. So how do I want to do this? What does this have as a script? Town perks. And it's got to be player ability tree. Okay, let's start making some changes. Player ability tree. UI. Maybe let's make a perks folder. Save. Call this player ability tree. Excuse me. Should be an abstract base class anyway. But I'm going to put this on here. There we go. Everything else is pretty good. We need to make this special. We call this the title label. And that's it. Yeah, that's it. Okay, now we load up town perks. And we wipe this entire thing out. Yeah, and probably, by the way, we should probably just call this title. Yeah, so we close that, make a new scene, instantiate this, call it town perks, give it the right script, save this as town perks. I'd like to save it in here, but let's save over the other one, wherever that is, which is in the middle of nowhere. Town perks.tsc. It's in game scenes. Game scenes. So we should find it in here, right? Town perks, yeah. All right, then let's add that to the list of things we got to clean up at some point. Move town perks.tscn into the new UI/perks folder. You could just do it in scripts and add the right one in the scene where this node is. Just do it in scripts and add the right one in the scene. Oh, do it via scripts, you mean? Like just call set script? Because yeah, I'm aware I can do that. I tend to just make custom scenes for this anyway. Because I typically want to avoid calling set script. And it's just to make it clear that they came from scenes, but also typically we have some difference we eventually want to make. But all this stuff is eventually going to get changed into tabs anyway, so I don't think it matters too much. Yeah, so the title here, I guess we didn't even need to make this unique. We can just say that this is town perks. I mean that in town, you can add 2 of these and give each the right script in the editor. Oh, I see. But then we would need to navigate all the way down to here with editable children, which I know is pretty much the same thing, but it means that we need to collapse the node every time. Yeah. Okay. So does the game just work? I should have changed essentially nothing. Well, let's make sure that it's still functioning. Yeah, good. Okay. And if I turn on auto battling, like right now we don't have the button there, and I click this, and now we have the button there. Yeah. Yeah, so it's still working. Hopefully there are no errors here. They wouldn't show up there. They'd show up over here. There are none. We're only changing text to things. We can do that in scripts too without editing the children. Yes. And then the scripts would have to do that. Yeah. Yeah, I know what you're saying. There's no difference between these scenes, so why have a special scene? And I'll write this down at least. There's no difference between town perks and player ability tree. So we could just delete townperks.tscn and instantiate player ability tree everywhere, but with different scripts. Yeah, inherited scenes haven't caused too much of a problem since they originally caused a bunch of problems. Maybe they're still lurking there somewhere, but it seems like it's all been doing what we wanted to do. All right, there are two techniques you can use here. Well, I'll say there are a few techniques you can use here. So one is scene inheritance. Make a new scene instantiated. As you can see, nodes in the derived scene turn yellow. Set scripts via code. You can call, or like, I guess just use the same scene but different script. If instantiating scenes through the editor, just assign a different script in the editor. If instantiating scenes through code, you can call set script. See subheaders. Okay. Change something in base one, you have to at least remember to open the inheriting ones in the editor. Yeah, we will probably. I mean, actually, how about this? Let's just delete it now, right? Although the town is using this, so town uses, I think. Emperor, thanks for the resub. How you doing, Ember? Town perks, here it is. So instead of instantiating in a town perks, we would instantiate a player ability tree. We'd call it town perks. We would give it the town perks script, and then we'd have the script set the title. Yeah, I think that's fine. The game's coming along. We've been working on fishing for a while, and I'm hoping that we get through. I don't think this is going to take very long, upgrading the pond via perks. I think we can probably get this done in the next hour. And then saving and loading shouldn't be too bad either. And then we have a whole bunch of like cleanup stuff. Unfortunately, fishing as a feature is really two parts. One is acquiring scales, and two is using the scales. Actually, I think fishing is really just acquiring the scales. But if you acquire something and you have no use for it, then it's like the system shouldn't exist. So this needs to be done, but it's a totally separate system that we haven't gotten to. And that's the only unfortunate part about this is like, well, I spent a bunch of days on this. I'd like to see what people think, but it's like, yeah, they're going to get a reward that they can't spend. So will it feel fun? Probably not. I don't know how long it'll take to make it so we can use the scales, but Guess we'll ponder that next. Okay, so town perks, so delete this. It went just beneath skill tree. So let's put this here. Player ability tree. Put it next to this. Make it look like that. Call it town perks. Change the script. It's currently... What? What? I didn't do that. Does this have the wrong script? It does. Well, that explains that. Player ability tree. I thought I made that change already. Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. Now this should say player ability tree. It doesn't. I'm confused. What's going on here? Still says town perks. Oh, should not be abstract. Oh, I did not see that error. Now it doesn't work because I need to build this again. Okay. Skill level number tick up equals happy. Well, it's the thing is that it doesn't even show in the UI anywhere. You don't even know how many skills you have. So it's not like you can even see the number tick up. Although that would be very easy to add a label somewhere and just not have it be functional. But I think we should probably just make it functional. So yeah, there is a question of, do we push this to an alpha branch that we password protect and then tell all of you the password? Or do we wait? So like, is it worth even getting feedback on a partially implemented system? I don't know. I don't know. Probably not. Yeah. Should probably hold off. All right, did we get this working? This should have changed now. Yes, good. Now we change it back. And then we change its script to set the title label. This only has an init that was virtual that presumably this overrode. Yes. So we'll also pass in town perks because that'll be the title. And then we put a string title here. And then we need to get the title label. What did I call that? I called it title label. Easy, easy. And what is it? It's a label. Okay, not a rich text label. Label, title label. Cool. No suitable method found to override. Yeah. Oh, now I see. I see. I guess this doesn't need to be virtual anymore. This is just void, and this is just void. Yeah. All right, let's run this. Again, everything should work the exact same way it did. Be pretty much no change. Oh, wait. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Oh, right. Okay. I forgot I added the bulletin board. I was like, why did the fishing pond change? All right, we click that. We get auto battle. Yeah, cool. Looks like it's working. This is scary. I don't know what's doing this. This only started with an update, but you can see that there's text overlapping and you can't read either line. And then when you hover over it, one of the lines goes away, but like, why? If I copy this, what shows up? What is that text there? Is it? Looks like there's the number 29. Yeah, it's this. These are showing. No, wait. Loading local. Yeah, these two lines are showing on top of each other. Selecting seems to fix it for me. Oh, now I can read the line that's overlapped. Okay, if I resize the window, it works. Oh, there. Now it totally fixed it. Privacy by default. What are these strange glyphs? Ah, that is the MQ character. Yeah. Okay. So now we want to make the what do we call it? The fishing perks. Yeah, let's go put those in. Fishing perks. All right, close all this stuff. Say this is fishing perks. this here, fishing perks. All right, these cost money, and this is stupid because the costs go here, and I don't like how this worked. And now perk ability data. Wait, prerequisite. None of these even use prerequisites. Hmm. I mean, we could just rename this and this. I'm not sure how I feel about that yet. Because I don't think we want prerequisites in terms of skill A is needed for skill B. I think we want prereqs in terms of like level 1 of the building is needed for level 2. And then level 2 has all perks available whenever you unlock it. How would that work? How would you upgrade the fishing pond? I guess there'd just be a sign somewhere. You upgrade it. Yeah. All right, so let's throw some ability in here. I don't know, auto battle, sure. Money label. Why is this here? Why is this here? What is this doing here? Why would this not be in the root? Oh, because the root didn't need money. So this is... Okay, I see. So maybe we should further break this down to like skill tree that uses money. No, we'll figure out what's in common and then we'll refactor this stuff. I'll write that down. Need to refactor fishing perks and town perks based on what they both look like in the end. There's probably going to be a lot of duplication. All right. Yeah, and this is going to change too. Well, this doesn't really matter. Any other errors here? Not really. All right, how do we spawn this thing? It's when you click the bulletin board. There's an on clicked here. This goes to the town. Town has town perks that toggle visibility. Okay, well, we want the same general thing for the fishing pond. Create fishing pond. This is after initializing it. All right, so fishing pond clicked. And fishing perks toggle visibility. And none of this exists. Wait, this does exist somehow? What? Oh, I see what's going on. All right, let's go make this thing. It says generate property. I don't want that. Fishing pond. All right, it's clicked when the bulletin board is clicked. Where art thou, pond? Here you are. Okay. Private bulletin board, bulletin board. Ready, should know that I want that there. Good. And then we invoke our clicked function, which I apparently did not name clicked. Kevin is like, no, you almost had it. You almost named it clicked. All right, now we just need fishing perks. So we had town perks here somewhere. Just make this fishing perks. All right, any other references to this? Yeah, this thing. We had 3 different perks things that could show up here. We're going to tab this eventually. So I'm not super concerned about this looking ugly for right now. Yeah. Then we want to save this here and add that there, yeah. All right, so there's no hotkey for this, but we do need to add in a function here. Public void toggle fishing perks visibility. There we go. And that's it. All right, what else? Town perks out of knit. Town hall clicked. Town perks and knit is also called from here. Star game, okay. We're gonna want to encapsulate that stuff eventually. So there's a menu function for this. We're not gonna put that in yet. Player changed ability level. Reapply all the abilities. Yeah, we're gonna need this here too. Which means there should be one base class that does this. Probably consolidate everything there. Okay. Let's try it out. We won't have custom icons for this stuff yet, so we'll have to use our placeholder icons. This broke everything. Yeah. Probably can't find a node. I probably forgot to save something. In fact, let's go check that before I even look at anything else. No, everything's been saved. Unable to cast player ability tree to fishing perks. It's line 265. Because fishing perks doesn't exist because I forgot to rename it? No, I didn't forget to rename it. Oh, I forgot to put the right script on. Yep. Put that in there. Yeah, I didn't give it the script. Thankfully, these things are easy enough to fix, but I just never get them all right at first. Okay, so if I click this, it should pop up a dialog with just one perk, and it'll have the wrong title, I think, because I forgot to set it. Doesn't pop anything up. How fun. Where do I set the title? In init? Yeah, this should say fishing perks. Okay, how'd I mess that up? So the fishing pond has the on-click here, which invokes this. It goes back to the town. Create fishing pond, then listens for it and calls toggle visibility. Does it toggle the visibility of the wrong thing? No, it looks like it's correct. Did it fail to find the node? No. Huh, okay. Well, let's put a breakpoint on that. Right. Can you do that? This might not do what I want it to do. I don't think it's going to get hit. Oh, it did. Wow. That's cool. All right, so then now we go into that on-click function, which is here. And that doesn't get hit. What? Oh, has unlocked tree is probably just false. Yeah. Okay, my bad. It says true. Well, we never overwrote it. Has unlocked tree. What? Town perks overrides this, but this one doesn't? What? How did that even happen? Did I delete that? I don't know how that's even possible for me to not put that there. It was beneath set button ability. Oh, there it is. Oh, wait. Why? It just didn't find it. Okay, yeah, this should say fishing pond. Should maybe also be overlay controller toggle fishing pond. Yeah, I want to refactor this stuff in this commit because there's probably other town stuff in there I should be changing. Let's see. Overlay. Wait, where did you see that? Overlay controller. Huh. Toggle skill tree. I'm not sure. All right, so this should now be true, which means it should be showing. Yeah, cool. Okay, it's working. I'm in the town handling pond unclicked. Create fishing pond. There's a visibility change thing, isn't there? There isn't. This just shows it. Yeah, you're right. I think this is wrong, but I don't understand how we changed. Oh, this was just for setting these. I see. Yeah, I agree with you. I think this was done a mistake over in the. Oh, it's technically not possible. Okay, I see. This is kind of funny. So if I could click in the background right now, it would toggle the visibility of this. And if I had the perks tab open, so if I had this open and I could click in the background, then it would not work correctly. But since you can't click it in the background, since you're clicking this opaque background area anywhere you click, then this actually never comes into play. Your brain feels scrambled. I think that's the point. Yeah, interesting though. I never even thought about this. Overlay, visibility controller, toggle. Wait, do we not have that? Overlay, visibility. Oh, here it is. Yeah. Toggle fishing perks visibility. Yeah, so all of them should do this. Wherever we call toggle visibility, which let's just search for toggle.star visibility, which doesn't work, and I don't know why I ever do that, because it doesn't put that into here when you tab. There we go. And then look at all the ones in town, which is here. This is town perks. Toggle town perks visibility. Any others? That's already working. That's already working. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's what you're saying is the better way because it is more correct. It doesn't actually matter right now, but we might as well do the better way. All right, so now you can click this, and we have one fishing perk. It's not even a fishing perk. It's just a perk I threw in here already, but it should work nonetheless. Yeah, it does. All right, pretty good. Pretty good. So what happens if we were to save and load? I think everything would break, right? Does it know that we've unlocked auto battling? It does. That's not a coincidence, is it? No, I don't think so. All right. The next thing we have to do is refactor these classes because I don't think that having fishing perks and town perks exist at the same time makes a lot of sense. Let's compare them to one another. Fishing perks. Very little should have changed. These structs could be exactly the same. This obviously needs to be different. They have different perks, so they need different data. But then that's pretty much it, right? The title changed, the type changed, and how you unlock the tree changed. Yeah. This should be pretty easy. I'm just losing steam, that's all. All right, so what I want to do is I want to make another intermediate class that is like perks tree, I guess. Yeah. I want to save something as perks tree. Let's just go save the town perks tree as perks tree. And then maybe write a thing here saying like, this is a skill tree that costs money to unlock abilities. That way, if we ever do end up having something that involves points, then it could use a different class. So this is going to just be called perks tree. It's technically going to be... No, it can't be abstract because these other classes need to inherit from this. Oh, boy. This is why I said I'm losing steam because this is all pretty straightforward, but there's a lot that can go wrong and then cause me to just spin on this. But I think it'll be easy enough. All right, so now we split that up. Anyone else's stream freezing? I haven't dropped any frames, but yes, please, other people do answer that question because I hope nothing's wrong with the stream. All right, so we need town perks, fishing perks, and whatever I just called that new thing, perks tree. And probably, I guess, player ability tree as well. And then we probably need to do a .NET format before we finish this. Run .NET format for all the usings that I'm going to have. So what do we call this? Perk ability data. That sounds pretty good. So town perk ability data becomes perk ability data. This won't totally work because now we're going to have the wrong name here. But that should do it, right? Perk ability data. Good. Yeah. Okie doke. So init should take in a title. Where do we want to pass these in? Init here takes in a title. It's the ability tree that had that. So then this also needs to take in that title, which means that this is just going to get overridden. Yeah, virtual void init, override void init with string title. We call the base class with the title. Add a way to break out of this method's recursion. And then, yeah, everything's hunky-dory, right? Now, this is not defined here. This inherits from perks tree. We need to specify its ability data in a smart way, which we don't do right now. Because right now this is pulling from what is defined in this class, which should not exist. So this should be a dictionary that gets defined in init. Or it's, no, it should just get defined in init. And then we should pass it into here. And then this should store it, but it should probably be protected. Let me see, get cost of ability. Yeah, sure, that's reasonable. So this is not read-only anymore. And it's also not set here. Would it make more sense to make this whole dictionary protected and just have each class override it as needed? Probably, yeah, probably. Protected dictionary, get set. I don't think we need to modify that at all. Then we just capitalize this, ability data. And then put this in the right spot, which is down here. Hooray, change ability data to be read-only. Nope, not gonna do it. All right, so now perks will define this. I hope. Can we do this? Change to read only by removing the property setter. I want to override what we had. I guess we would do this in init. Yeah, fine. May ask for protected set. Yeah, I'll have to look into that. So we would call this here. So there's our ability data. We now don't need any of this stuff. We don't need really any of this stuff, right? Yeah. You don't need this either. Or this. All right, cool. This is a pretty basic class. Town perks is going to be pretty much identical. We're going to copy paste just these two functions, right? And paste this in here. This is going to be that the town hall is defined. And this is going to be all of this stuff. So just put this in here. And then delete the rest of the class. And all of this. And everything here. Okay, are we looking good? I'm gonna try running this. Thanks for answering, Ross. Fine for you. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on M2. It's always hard to tell because there are usually issues on Twitch in one form or another. Wrong title in town perks. Yeah, I think you're right. I think I copy pasted that. Thank you. All right, so fishing perks, we show our one thing. Town perks is going to have the wrong title, but should show 9 things. Yeah. And any of the issues that, no, darn it, that didn't go away. Protected set. I don't think you should need to do this. The accessibility modifier must be more restrictive. Yeah. It says, oh, I see. It's not saying something about this. It's saying that you probably shouldn't have a dictionary that derived classes can overwrite. Did it write that? That was me writing it. Because remember, I have to type NEI in order to hit command. And then I tried typing S. So I like messed up the whole thing and typed that. What do I want to do about this then? We could pass it in init. Yeah. Do I want to do that? It's not really any difference, right? If I just pass in ability data here. You can make it read only, empty, and just add the keys. I think the syntax for that would be obnoxious though, right? Because now you'd have to do something like ability data that equals that and write out every single line. I don't like that idea. Why you don't want to make it read only? Because right now the derived classes are setting this. We can make it read only, we just need to change that, and it needs to pass it in through init, which then adds a parameter to init, which I don't want. Modifier read only is not valid for this. I don't want. Oh, because it's made read only by this. Must contain a non-null value when exiting the constructor. Non-null property. Yeah, okay, cool. So that's ignorable now. And now we pass this in. Oh, but now it's not going to be read only. Well, I guess we're just iterating over these. No, we're not. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. Yeah, I don't like this. So we do this. It's going to violate this property up here. And then by making this here, it's going to say change it to be read only. So I think the only way we would be able to do this is to iterate over the keys we have in the passed in dictionary and then set them in the root one. It's just kind of silly. Yeah. I don't like it. So in lowercase ability data, we do this. Ability ID equals perk ability data. Whoops, somehow that got deleted. Yeah, now this doesn't override the root because player ability tree doesn't necessarily need a cost. That's why I don't like this. So now this is not overridden. This is virtual? No, because you don't initialize it that way. It's just void. Okay. Well, I'm not super happy with that. Yeah, so we get this dictionary to exist. Why is it not suggesting this? There we go. And there we go. And then do the exact same thing over here. Good. And then let the AI propose where to pass this in. It's not going to do that. Every once in a while, it's so straightforward. I think it should work, but it doesn't. All right, so this is pretty much the same thing we had before. And we could even do this with one for loop here, as long as we're not accessing this from over here, which we're not. Yeah, so we just do this and then iterate over ability data. I don't like this. I just don't like it.
Yeah, I don't like this.
It exists in both code and memory. I think we should have just ignored the make this dictionary read only. In fact, I'm very curious why a lot of these things are the way that they are. Like, let's say I had a set here and it gives me that error. What is that? CA2227. They say the cause and everything, but I'd love a rationale for this rule existing. Writable collection property allows the user, okay, this is the why. Allows the user to replace a collection with a completely different collection. A read-only or a init-only property stops the collection from being replaced. This allows individual members to be set. If they're replacing the collection as a goal, include a method to remove all the elements of the collection. Yeah, okay. All right, this makes sense. Yeah. Can you mark it as virtual and override it? Probably can. I think the reason I don't like this style is that the init function in bytecode is going to contain all of this, and then all of this is going to be duplicated in memory as well. So it's like it exists twice. And I just don't like that. But does it work? Let's try it. That looks like it's working. And that looks like it's working. Yeah. Yeah. All right, well, let's delete this. Yeah, I think there was a stale error there. I was talking about the error that shows up when you have the setter there, which says to use it as read only. I want to know why it suggested that, and I did find out why. Okay, so now these classes are at their bare minimum. You figure out whether something's unlocked by knowing which building it's associated with, and you know which perks are there because you just define them in the class. And now perks tree is pretty straightforward and everything. Yeah, this all looks good. All right, well, I'm happy with that change at least. Run .NET format. This is done. This is done. This is done. What Kevin suggested is not done there. That thing finished up. Cool. Yeah, and it's okay. It's not a big deal. It's the kind of thing I'm going to forget about soon enough. Something changed in just usings. Yeah, here, the tavern. And I think that was it. Everything else we actually had changes. No, fish and pond, same thing. So this, tavern, anything else? I'm just looking for things that changed in terms of .NET format fixing something. I am not looking through this file. Anything? No. Yeah, no, we're good. Okay. So run .NET format. Okay, so now we got to review all these changes. Scroll up to the top. So this is the new town perks scene, which should not even exist as far as I know, right? Townperks.tscn. Why? Nothing uses it. Yeah, I think we can safely delete it. Before we delete it, let's copy paste everything that's in it, which is next to nothing. Yeah, what is this? All right, well, there's our scene. Now let's go delete it and make sure that's totally fine. Town perks, delete. Files to be deleted. Remove. Yeah, everything's still good, right? Probably. Yeah, built, loads. Got our perks here. We got our perks over here, yeah. Okay, so that got deleted. There was something I thought of as soon as I did that, and then immediately forgot. Oh yeah, I gotta reload the project over here because there are some new UID files we need. This is perhaps the dumbest thing about this version of Godot. It should automatically do this stuff and it doesn't. So if you take a look at this over here, there are no UID files being added, but we added in new CS files, so there have to be new UID files. And for whatever reason, you need to reload the project for it to do something, and then run from here. And now we should see new files pop up. Yep, 1, 2, 3. In fact, that was from a while ago that I hadn't actually done, so that sucks. But I'm not gonna worry about that and try to amend the commit properly. We're just gonna check it in now. Add missing UID file. Okay, let's review the rest of the changes. So town perks gone. Bulletin board, we just changed the collision thing. I think we checked that in on its own too. Update bulletin board collision shape. It had the shape of the old tavern. It now has the shape of just the board itself. All right, what next? Environment got updated slightly to delete part of the fence. This added in the bulletin board and a shader for it. Sounds good. The town now has different perks. Yep. Player ability tree was what was largely town perks. We just renamed it. Fishing perks. Yep, we just added that. This stuff looks good. Yep, this is all what used to be town perks, which we renamed everything, right? The word town ideally shouldn't show up except to refer to a variable in there. What is that called? Perks tree. Town. Yep, just the variable. Okay, cool. Yeah, we're fine. Let's search for the word hall. That would actually, yeah. We don't have town hall showing up in there then. Okay, looks good. I'm not going to review the whole code because that was code that was already written. Player ability tree does very little now. It just sets a title. Fishing perks now exists. All this stuff is fine. We actually can't have this line there for now, so we're just going to revert this. And everything else looks good. This is town perks just got deleted. Okay. Add fishing perks. There are no, well, fishing perks UI. There are no fishing specific perks yet. I just threw auto battle into the UI so that there would be something present. All right. Now back over to town, back over to skip tutorial, and build our fishing pond by default. We don't need this anymore. All right, so add new perks dialog, done. More maximum fish in the pond. Okay, we got something we need to do before this. Can you open town hall, all levels and base, run the game, and upload the UID files? They're not already there? Because the scenes don't need UID files. And if the UIDs themselves are broken, that's something that it's just, we just fix that as we go, I guess. But if there were any UID files missing, I think that's worth checking in. So this is what we got to talk about before we get to any of this stuff. And it's a question I thought of yesterday, which is, are people just always going to fish? Like they can always have the extractor on and give up their potion sales forever so they can get scales and get permanent stats. I think some people may want to do that without realizing they can or should stop at some point. Need to ponder this. So the short answer is we almost certainly have to limit this. No, we have to. That's the short answer. Yeah. And the question is, how do we limit it? And what do we want fishing to be for? So let's show in the game right now how this works. You turn on the extractor, and now workers will bring potions to the extractor. So if you ever find potions, my worker should come over here, and instead of selling it, they're going to bring it down to here. And if they bring enough down there, then it will, instead of having just 2 fish, I'm going to have 3 fish. So there we go. Now a new fish spawns in the pond. There it is. And now when we battle, we will fight those fish. So if I just click grant most things and we give our adventurers like a whole ton of power. So let's do this and this and this and this. All right, so we're going to send the rogue into the forest and everyone else into the fishing pond. So now this should be self-sustaining. There. So they're going to bring any potions down there. And that will make it so that these characters fight the fish. And yeah, you're just getting a ton of skills. Put a cap on skills until next elite. Stop battle when reached. Time limit fishing battles, 10 minutes, 30. Yeah, so I think what we're probably going to do is, limiting how many scales you can hold at any given time. We will probably accomplish this. by limiting how many skills you can hold. So then what would that make players do? And I guess there are two options. Upgrade some incomplete subset of your adventurers, or upgrade all adventurers. I mean, no matter what, these are your only two options. um, so zoom out so that's not happening. So what will players probably do? I think you're gonna have a battle party. So it's maybe worth backing up. Like fortitude isn't a flashy stat. It lowers damage taken. So battles don't go faster, and fishing battles are unaffected. Well, fishing is unaffected because fish don't do damage to you. So how much are people going to get this? And I think you split it into psychographics of players. And it's generally going to be like only as much as needed, as much as possible, or like they just ignore the system altogether. Probably these three categories sum up like maybe everybody, or at least the majority of the player base. So what do I think is going to happen here? I definitely think some people will just ignore it. I don't think there's any stopping that. You'd have to make it obvious how you can upgrade your stats. Only as much as needed. Some people might do this. If they're focused on their economy, they would do this. Because every potion that goes into here is money you're not getting. And at some point you'd be like, oh, they're bringing this over here. Let me turn this off. And now they'll bring them to the shop instead. And then you'll actually earn some money. And the as much as possible gang, these are the true min-maxers. These are the people who are like, I'm going to take no damage. I'm going to wreck every boss. Could you theoretically farm this with just a witch doctor if you add points into zombie healing? You can farm it with any character. You don't need to add points to anything. As long as you do at least one damage, you will eventually kill every fish in your fishing pond. So we probably want to change the power of fish at some point so that they're stronger. I mean, they have more life. I don't know. It doesn't necessarily matter how we balance it, I guess. It's just like, what goal do we want to accomplish? But anyway, if we're thinking about this as people mostly fit into one of these two categories, they're either ignoring the system or they're only getting as much fortitude as they need, then they're going to want to fish occasionally. First two categories of people will only want to fish occasionally, not forever. They may even see it as a chore. So they'd want to be able to just go in, clear out their entire pond, and then not have to fish for a while, I guess. Whereas I think some people will just always leave a fishing fight open. Yeah, we could do something like that. Could be that the longer you're fishing, the stronger the fish get. And then they fight back and eventually kill your party. This would just be a natural way of ending it. It doesn't, I don't really think that's needed though. But I'm still trying to figure out like what's going to be fun for players here. Is it keeping a fishing battle open so that as you bring potions over here, you're just automatically getting the fish? And I think that's, if you're aiming for fortitude, this is part of it, is like setting this automation up. I think it's very cool that it exists. Maybe it's not worth even thinking about too much. We just implement a cap and then we get feedback from players. I feel like I should be able to answer. Okay, let me think about this. My goal is be able to answer why, or like how people should be engaging with the fishing mechanic. And the reasons for making this system were give a way to advance the strength of your characters. I say strength. I mean like overall power. I'll just say fortitude because that's what it is. Give a way to advance the fortitude of your characters and give a way to customize characters. So you're actually only customizing a specific one when you do this. And add another money sink, which is you can't interact with the system and not have it be a money sink somehow. So it's already accomplished no matter what. What else though? I guess it was like add a new system that works differently from others. That can be fun to manage / watch. I think we've accomplished these goals. So I guess it doesn't really matter how people interact with it, right? But what I was thinking about is it good, or maybe like, does it matter if this takes, say, 5 minutes every hour versus needing to be done every minute? Because we can steer toward those things. If we say that your pond has a max of 1 fish, then we're pretty much forcing you to do this like all the time. And it might be a little tedious, although you can automate it. So it's not like you'd be present for all of that. And if we let you upgrade the pond so that you have a maximum of 1,000 fish, then you can end this battle and just be like, okay, I got my 131 scales. I'll come back in another hour and I'll get another 500 scales. I think it's just kind of letting the player figure that out. I think that's it. Letting the player figure out the efficiency of all of this stuff. For that, the player needs levers. It would be things like where you're battling, how many potions you're putting in the pond, your perks. So max fish. I don't know what other perks. Any other perks. And any other constraints. So things like the max scales you can hold or the max fortitude of your adventurers. Okay, I feel a little better about that as long as we're giving them levers. They already have the levers around battling and everything and potions. So it's just which perks are going to make this interesting. Like right now, you can see that I've filled up the pond. We have 15 fish. So now when I go to battle here, it's going to immediately start a battle against 9 of them. And then as we do damage to them, we'll pull in our other fish. And even before we finish, we'll start getting more. So we already got 7 instead of just 6. Yeah, now it's pulling them in. Oh, this doesn't update when it creates them for battle. Oh, that's a problem. No, wait, it does? Why does it seem delayed? It says 0 right now, which is probably correct. It should go to 1. No, put the 1 directly into battle. Maybe that's why it didn't look like it was updating. Because people were bringing potions at the same time. Let me flee this battle. And we'll let this collect up. There we go. Okay, so as soon as it starts the battle, this should go down to 6. Yeah, it did. And now it's 7, and they should kill some fish, and it should... Oh, it only goes down when they replenish the fish, though. Yeah, I think this is working. Hey, potato. Oh, what other levers do we need then? Well, what did I have written down in the issue? More maximum fish in the pond. Allow for natural respawn. I don't really like that. Extract more eggs from each potion. Yeah, so maybe the start of this system is something like adventurers need 5 scales to get to like +1 fortitude, something like that. And it takes, I don't know, 1 minute per scale. So you're eventually making this faster and faster. Item stacking, since it should increase the recovery rate, I think. Yeah, the other thing that'll increase the recovery rate is just getting better potions. So right now I'm fighting in the forest, but if I were to be generating like this potion, this immediately gives you 3 fish. So now the battle's filling up quite rapidly. And now we actually have extra fish. We have 5 extras. Yeah, I think we'll just have to see how this pans out. As long as the system's understandable and they understand these levers too, then I think this will be fine. So yeah, the more maximum fish I definitely want. But this would be in tiers. Like there are 5 tiers for this. Your max starts at 5 fish and then goes up to 15 and then 50 and then 150 and then 500 or something. Yeah, just what other perks do we have? Plus max fish. This one for sure we need. Natural spawning of fish eggs. I'm just not sure about this. It's essentially saying pay X money now so that you'll get a trickle of money in the form of fish. So if it's 500 gold and it gives you something like 1 fish per minute, and right now a fish costs 5 gold, then it's like in 100 minutes it will have paid for itself. Maybe more importantly, it's not so much the value as it is you not having to manage it. It's an automated thing as opposed to you clicking a button and then automating it yourself. So is this particular perk interesting? The increased fish per gold was this one. Extract more eggs from each potion. And yeah, I wonder if there's a way to make this maybe more exciting. I'm not sold on this. It's like a very tiny layer of automation combined with investing. And the numbers might not work out such that it's very interesting. Then the whole like get more fish per potion. This should happen naturally as you play the game, since potions will be worth more. Which makes me wonder if we should have a perk to make it even more. I guess people just want things to upgrade, though. Generally just want things to upgrade. So maybe we add these things in anyway and just let them decide. I think I've already come to this conclusion that we need levers and people want things to upgrade. Add in even just decent ideas. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So we definitely have maximum fish. Getting more eggs per potion would let you hit your maximum more quickly. Maybe you could also weaken the fish via this. Anything about the battle itself? Could be a perk like fight or like spawn a big fish every time you have at least 5 eggs. Other things are more skills per fish, reduce fish health. Issue is all kind of amounting to the same thing. Yeah, it's all increasing the efficiency of this machine. And since all you're getting out of this machine is 1 meta currency and it only has 1 purpose, we can't really do much else. We could have it be something like you can randomly get loot from the battle, but there's already battling in the game, so I don't really see a need for that. It is a fish shoe, yes. It's also what a fish blows their nose on. I mean, I kind of like this idea. It's increasing the throughput of battling them. And maybe that's all we look at here. All the entire fishing system is just for one meta currency that has one purpose. So the only real thing we can do here is increase the throughput of any part of the chain. Potions to fish, number of fish you can battle at once, number of scales you get by catching a fish, more fish in the pond, more scales that you can hold. Hey, Merkin. Why is it supposed to be a battle rather than another mini game? Because of the style of Skeleseller. So in a lot of other games, the actual battles themselves would have been some manual thing you'd do. Like you'd play as the rogue and you'd actually press like the attack key and the shoot bow key or something like that, or cast fireball or something. But in Skeleseller, you're automating all of that stuff. So if fishing happened to be a mini game that you're like casting out a rod and maybe there's some like timed action you have to do, it would be very different from the rest of the game. And as a result, it'd be a system you sort of have to interact with. Whereas right now, fishing is a system that your characters are interacting with. So you could just like flee this battle and now your characters are freed up and they can do something else. But if you're ever like, oh, time to fish again, instead of groaning about it, you just click one button and they go and battle the fish. And that's that. What is going on here that these potions all still exist? Oh, because we're getting new ones and there are only so many workers. We're gonna have to stop this so they could sell them all. They'll never sell them all though, because customers are only ever gonna buy this stuff. So if we add a bunch of customers, then the warehouse will eventually drain. Yes. I still like watching this stuff. I think it's very cool. Yeah, they're getting through them all. And now we can start this battle again. Neat. Yeah, so I think that's my conclusion. Merkin, thanks for the sub. Do you have a video explaining how to play the game? I don't. Are you just looking for an overview of like what's the game about? Because I don't mind explaining that. But if you're talking about like that the game would be difficult to play and people would need a video to be able to make it through it, the game does kind of teach you at the beginning how it works. Yeah, let me turn that off. All right, so it's all throughput stuff. And yeah, the whole spawn a big fish thing. Is this fun or interesting? I guess then you need to know which kind of fish you're defeating. Also, this is only if you ever had so many fish that you couldn't just defeat them naturally. You can also lower the number of lower HP of fish. I believe it's because I'm not familiar with this genre. Yeah, sure. So I'll give you a quick overview of the game. And for anyone who's watching who's never kind of seen what Skeleseller is about, pay attention now. So in this game, you were an adventurer and you died and became a skeleton. There's going to be some little story blurb about that in the game. So now you're managing a town rather than adventuring yourself. So you hire adventurers at this guild. So like I can hire this mage, and then you can send your adventurers into battle. So I'll send them both to the forest, and I'll just speed this up. They're walking in the portal right now. They fight automatically. So this is part of the sort of idle genre, which is that stuff is happening, but you're not directly controlling it. So like I said, in other games, you would typically press like the arrow keys and move to something and then press space bar and fire a fireball or something like that. Here you saw I just clicked some buttons and my characters did all this stuff for me. And then when they win that battle, they got a potion, which then customers can come and buy. So that's the basic game loop. Send your characters into battle, get items, sell those items in your town, and then use the money from that to buy different buildings and upgrade different things. So one of the new buildings, quote unquote building, is this fishing pond. So you can collect up fish and then you actually will go and battle the pond itself. So we battle this pond over here, and now we're fighting the 2 fish we have in our pond. And when you beat them, so I'm going to speed this up. Yeah, so for each fish that you beat, you get a scale. So I got 1 fish scale. And the scales are used to upgrade your adventurers. So that's this new system. And that's going to upgrade their fortitude here. So as you play the game, your adventurers will get more powerful. You'll get skill points for them. You'll choose where you want to apply their skills. They'll get better in battles. You'll choose kind of, do you want them to be more suited for defensiveness, offensiveness, maybe fishing? Excuse me. Yeah, it's all throughput stuff. I also try to come up with other effects. E.g., fishing gives you mana for your enchanter. Not sure it's worth it. Mind if I ask what's likely not a short answer question? Yeah, that's fine. Number of scales you get. I don't want this stuff to trivialize the other decisions you're making. Like, I don't know. I guess we're just going to do it. So yeah, I don't like the natural respawn idea. But extract more eggs from each potion, extract more scales from each fish, and lower the HP of fish in battle. This one's particularly questionable. Because whenever you unlock this system, let's say it's 2 hours into the game, you still got a lot more gameplay. And you're naturally going to get more powerful as you go anyway. So just lowering the HP of the fish is it's not redundant, but it's already covered by you getting more powerful. And all of these other things also increase the throughput. I still think this ability should exist. I just don't like it. I don't like it. After watching your stream in game dev, I think I want to build a game like Skeleseller that simulates railroad operations. I'm assuming I'd have to try to find some asset packs for buildings, trains, etc. What else? When you think about a game, I think about it in terms of all of the different high-level components that go into it. So things like story, setting. A lot of this is played out by the graphics and music and sound effects that you have. The gameplay itself. I don't know. Like, I'm not going to try to list everything out, but picture anything you might need. And you can drill into any of these things. Like, what do your characters do? What's the decision tree of the player? What kind of like world building or enemies are there, or skill trees, or something, right? Like, what's the goal of the game? What is the fun of the game? What is the competition doing? And then from this, try to come up with like, what's a game I can make in X amount of time with Y money and Z people helping. And maybe your question is more direct in terms of like, what am I missing beyond just asset packs or something? But yeah, I think the general assets you're going to need are things like graphics, music, sound effects, fonts, probably someone to do the sort of meta graphics for your game. So something like the Steam artwork. This might never show up in your game, but someone's got to do it. Same thing with a trailer. Your trailer is definitely not going to show up in your game, but it needs to be made, and it's not easy to make trailers. So all of that sort of thing. And as you build the game out, you'll realize how much other stuff there is that you maybe hadn't thought of. I said do the big fish. Fish now take 2 eggs, but they give 2.5 as many, 2.5 times as many scales. Yeah, something like that could potentially work. But then I think the extract more scales from each fish would be like, it takes more fish eggs. Spawn bigger fish that give more scales and have more HP. Am I competing with other gamers? I kind of don't understand the reason why I'd want to improve my adventures. Again, maybe it's because I'm not familiar with the genre. You're not competing with other gamers, no. I think there's sort of two levels to this question. Like, why does the game want me to do this? And why do I as a player want to do this? And the why does the game want to do this is usually some arbitrary reason, right? Like when you play whatever Final Fantasy, you've got to go accomplish some goal, like get the 4 gems back. At least Final Fantasy 1 had that, I think. Get the 4 gems back, and there was some reason, I don't know, the world was going to end or something. If this doesn't resonate with you, the game might still be fun. You could just ignore that part. But yeah, why do I as a player want to do this? The answer is pretty much always just because it's fun for you. So I'm not sure which one you're asking exactly, but I probably don't have a super compelling answer either way. It's like if you start playing this game and you're like, oh, I get it. Like I like that my characters are progressing and I'm watching their power go up and I'm building on my town, and it's like fun to live this sort of fantasy of I was a skeleton and I built a town. I wouldn't start with the ending product as your intro to game dev. I'd copy existing games to learn. Then you don't need to do all the other stuff. Yeah, I highly agree with Toulouse there. Yeah. And by the way, slow dev, I don't know if I answered your question, so feel free to ask anything else you have a question about. Well, I'm still very much confused about what exactly I want to do here. Spawn bigger fish, they get more skills. Yeah, I think my core problem is all of the fishing pond stuff automatically scales with potion value and with adventurer power. So we don't really need more scaling. Yeah. Yeah, that's my issue. And it's going to cheapen. I think that's my real worry. It's going to cheapen the experience a bit. It's like, imagine, I guess this is, in essence, the difference of like buffs versus debuffs. You give yourself plus strength. Isn't that kind of the same as giving the enemy like minus defense? Yeah, sort of. I know there are differences, and you could have an intricate enough battle system where they both matter in different ways. But we pretty much have that same thing going on here. We have like your power is basically going to like scale up the fishing efficiency. And then the perks would also scale up the fishing efficiency. And one of these might overpower the other one such that it felt like, oh, why was I even finding better potions? Like it doesn't matter. Or why did I even buy these perks? Like I could have just waited until the end of the game. Definitely play the game so I can see for myself. Is it live already? Yeah, there's a demo on Steam if you want to play that. It's got about 2 hours of gameplay. Yeah, I'm torn on this. So, well, what would we do if I am torn on this? I guess, yeah, my real concern is that one of these systems may overshadow the other. Could make it so that your power doesn't matter. We can't really do that, actually. It's a battle. Your power matters. And we could make it so the potion value doesn't matter, but then you're always just going to fight in the forest or something. Are you referring to trying to recreate a game? Yeah, I think that's what Toulouse is saying there. And that way you're just focusing on the game dev stuff. Because if you think about it, game dev means different things to different people. It might just mean the coding to some people. It might mean the artwork. It might mean the music. It might mean the design part of it. And art, music, and design are all covered by existing games. So like if you're like, let's make Tetris, it's like you don't need to come up with a design. It's a genius idea already. Music and art, I mean, if you're just cloning a game, you could just also clone that. You're not planning on selling it or anything. But if you are planning on distributing it or selling it, then okay, making blocks is pretty easy. Making music is however hard you want it to be. So you get to focus on just the part you want to focus on, which if it's development or coding, then you can do that. Any resource recommendations on learning to think in a way that fits game dev better? If you tell me to make a system for invoicing or ERP stuff, I can do it no issue, but my brain just can't get wired into game dev. It's like I don't even know where to begin making stuff. I think the design skills are pretty similar, and I think you got to be careful about this. I think always come up with a problem and then think of solutions for that problem. I think there's this tendency in game dev a lot of times to be like, we should add X, it'll be fun. And if your problem is the game isn't fun enough, then yes, you're solving a problem by doing that. Otherwise, I think you end up with this like system sprawl. So I think you need a set of ideas that works well, and it can't just be a jumbled mismatch of things. Anyway, how do you get better at this stuff? I think you start by tackling small problems. So as an example, we were talking about existing games. Let's just take Tetris. How would you make Tetris better? Or how would you make a game with Tetris like mechanics? And I keep forgetting what that game was called. There was some like Game Boy game with Tetris tower building. What was that called? Fortress. That's what it was. Game Boy Fortress game. Yeah. Okay, so I did not play this game, but here's a picture of it. And my understanding was you put down Tetris blocks, and based on the shape that you built, it would build a wall or a tower or something like that. So if you wanted to make a game like this, you would need to answer, how does the Tetris mechanic fit into this? How do we make it fun? How is it understandable by players? Like, what is the decision making you're doing? What kind of dexterity do you need? And you're doing it in a way that in the end, I think there was probably just one game mode for this game, and it was like what you see here. You're building towers. There's probably some enemy player you're trying to beat, and there's a score at the top here. I think do enough of that where you've scoped down what your problems are and try to get better at designing it. And you see me doing this a lot on stream. I mean, I'm doing it right now with this. I'm just, pardon the pun, but floundering a bit because I want there to be more perks, but I want the perks to matter. And I feel like there's redundancy right now. Could just try to make it so that these systems work well together. That's pretty much just a balance issue. Yeah, maybe the upgrades are costly. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I think we just go with what I have written down. Yeah. And I'll write this even in here. Note, I had a pretty big concern that the perks, either the perks or the general power progression in the game wouldn't matter. They're both fulfilling the same goal, which is to improve the throughput of your fishing. Fishing only has one purpose right now, which is to give scales to upgrade fortitude. Yeah, I think my general conclusion is that the perks should just be balanced properly. Sure, you can get more fish eggs by selling higher level potions, but a perk could also do that. Yeah, whatever. All right. So this is something we still have to do somewhere. I'll write this down. And that is done. All right, so now I have a new dilemma. I mentioned the other day we'd been playing Animal Royale on my lunch breaks, and I said I think we should just get rid of this. I think the game's just hard enough to understand, and it's not worth trying to make it easier at this point. I think people have played it, they've experienced it, it's not new anymore. So now the question is, on lunch breaks, do I end the stream and start a new one, or just show a blank BRB screen? Or I could make a new game for it at some point. I think this would be a mistake too. Hey Smurf. What's this? Oh, I think I saw this video. Yeah, I like her reaction. I think I'm gonna go with the end the stream bit. I think the pro is, as a viewer, you don't get spooked when I come back. And you can watch someone else. And as the streamer, I lose viewers. Because then in the afternoon, not as many people come back. Then I get a notification when you start again. Yeah. Yeah. When next release? Need more Skeleseller? I think it'll be in the next week, but it'll just be on an alpha branch. So you'll probably need to get the password from me. And it's going to include fishing, but I don't know to what extent you'll be able to use the fish. Someone implemented Doom and purely TypeScript types. I didn't even know that was possible. Wow. Yeah, but anyway, so we made pretty good progress on the fishing system. For those who haven't seen, we've got this extractor thing. You can turn it on. Then your workers will just automatically bring potions to it. When they bring enough potions to it, or when you bring enough potions to it, it will populate your pond with fish. So now we have 2 fish. There's one. The other one is over there. And then you can go battle a fish. So we can enter our fishing pond and start a battle. And now we're going to fight against the fish on our pier / boat / barrels. And when you catch a fish, which means defeating it, then when you flee the battle, you'll get scales based on how many you beat. And you'll eventually use these scales to upgrade your adventures. Would having that play as a BRB screen work in some kind of idle mode? That'd be kind of interesting. It wouldn't be interactive. And I was thinking about making it interactive, but the problem is there aren't very interesting decisions for individual chatters to make. It'd be like, oh, I want to build the shop now or something, or I want to drag an item from here to here. And at some point, even that, I think the problem with any sort of game that people are watching or playing on Twitch is that it's eventually going to get boring. And then that's it. It's still playing during breaks, and now fewer people are engaging with it, which makes it look even more boring. I want to be a customer. You want to choose what to buy? I mean, even if we did that, like let's say there was a whole store full of stuff and you are controlling a customer and you see this is the Ross Rays customer and you choose, I want to buy a potion. Like, what are you doing with it afterward? Just be cool to have the stream up until you come back. Yeah. Yeah, I hadn't thought of that. Just having the game playing. I guess just having a bunch of auto battles going. Like these characters are fighting over here. And there's another character fighting somewhere else. And you're just watching them stock items and sell. It's probably worth trying for a day. I don't think today is that day, though. I think I'll stop the stream for now, but I'll write that down. Yeah, let's just put this here for now. For my lunch breaks, I could just have Skeleseller be on with auto battling and maybe some kind of automatic camera. Yeah. All right, well, for now, I'm going to get lunch. It's 12:20. I'll try to be back around 1 p.m. or so. You know, give or take 10 minutes probably. And then we'll just keep working on this. I'll code some of these things and we'll work on saving and loading. And then we just have some cleanup stuff, which I might get done tomorrow off stream. There's not a ton left. It's pretty much the fishing system. And I think it's been good progress. So thank you all for watching. I hope to see you in the afternoon, but if not, take care. And I'll be back for like maybe 2-3 hours once I'm finally back. See ya, everybody.